Okay. And then I go and then ripped every single. Remember the
That means you have little girl hands.
I definitely do. Do you know that they make fun of me at jiu-jitsu? They say my hands are so buttery soft.
Yeah, you have no fucking calluses.
They are. What happened?
You have little girl hands.
I don't know. I guess I'm
Do you
doing
lift? Do you lift enough? What's happening?
Probably not. I'm just doing too much gi.
No, you don't.
I think I'm doing too much gi. You know, just I gotta re-callus the old hands. That's really what I have to do. Yeah. I think I'm taking care of myself too much self-care, because there's not, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm hitting all the manicure places on the weekend. I'm like, yes, please get the callus treatment. So you don't have calluses. Great, still do it anyway. Just get rid of what's remained. I did get the sand callus thing that
The
you
Callicure, yeah.
Callicure.
Yeah, that helps me from ripping. I haven't ripped in a while. Yeah.
The ripping is horrible.
It sucks. Yeah,
It sucks because
brutal.
Last was your
damn
that
son,
deadlift.
he just ripped next to me. Oh my god.
I had this one little rip from a deadlift I did a month ago, and
Yeah,
it
that
would
was
not
deep.
it would not go away. It would heal, then
He would also keep training and keep reopening.
Sick.
So,
yeah, so
Yeah.
That's specific.
If you smell something, by the way, that was Kenji.
Yeah.
That is, you smell it? That is crazy. Oh my god.
Kibble? The kibble?
It's the kibble.
damn.
Yo.
Whew. That is pungent.
That's
Oh,
potent.
yep. Oh, keeps going.
It just keeps marinating like
Just sitting here. and It's with
like an
us.
82. What is it? Cabernet. Like an 82 Cabernet.
Cabernet.
It just keeps breathing. Okay. Anyway, Sam, welcome.
Welcome to the show.
It's a great.
Welcome to the show.
I just got another hit.
I think we have to get some oxygen in here.
Dude, is it like a. That's so funny.
He's like a horse. You ever see the horse videos? Because all they eat is alfalfa and oats. The tail just goes up. They hit it and they back down.
Oh, man. All right. Let's calm
Yeah, that's the kibble transition. It's been a fun transition.
Yeah, you both.
It's been fun. Yeah. I'm surprised I haven't burned my eyebrows off.
You will eventually.
Oh, it's gonna happen. Yeah. It's just always something. You're like trying to help in one area, then another area starts flaring up. So you just go, all right, you know what? We're just gonna try to balance things out as best we can. Well,
Exactly.
so Sam, now that we have a little oxygen in the room, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming through and gracing us with a little bit of knowledge, and I want to hear about your background and how you got into things. Tom, as you know, has spoken extremely highly of you and told me all these amazing things about not only the business side of you, but the personal side and just how you've built yourself up to something really amazing. And there's really no ceiling there. You're going to keep going. So
Yeah.
what is, for those that don't know you, what is your background? What do you specialize in? And kind of give me like a little synopsis. How did you start? Because I'm curious.
Yeah. So my background, I guess you would say, is I studied in school traditionally to become a physician assistant. And at the same time, I also love training and working out. So basically, I started becoming a trainer at the same time as a PA. So I moved to the city and started working in the emergency room and then working at a gym. And basically, I just started building and growing those two careers at the same time for about a solid 10 years before it turned into anything really tangible, honestly. It came to a head where the ER was just, I was hitting a ceiling where the progression and room for growth, or I would say promotion, isn't where I wanted to be. I didn't want to be administrative work or anything like that. So I realized as a business owner, entrepreneur, like I don't have a ceiling, just like you said. So I decided to dive into that a little bit more. And it was a hodgepodge of things. Like I started off training clients. I started off running group class fitness, studios. And over time, I became a program director and then basically started developing my own programs. That turned into a really pivotal moment in my career where I was pushing out programs. I had this whole marketing plan, and then basically no one signed up. And I was just like, what do you guys want from me? Do you want me to continue with programs, or do you want to learn from courses, certifications? And I did a survey, and 99% of the people responded, we want to learn courses. We want to like learned from you from an education standpoint. I was like, all right, I'm literally speaking and creating the wrong product. So I did a full revamp come 2020. I was working in the ER still, but they cut our salary and cut our work hours by like 50% in the middle of COVID,
Sick.
which is crazy to think because as an ER professional, we are a frontliner, right? I'm like, how do you cut our hours by 50% when literally we have a pandemic? But that happened, and pretty much I freed up a lot of time to create this course. So I spent all summer of 2020 developing a course, not thinking it will turn into anything. Now it's my full-time career. 2 years later, I launched it. I was like, okay, I need 15 people to sign up to cover my ER salary. And the first time I launched it, I had 25 people sign up. I was like, oh, I don't need my ER job anymore. Then I ran it again, second cohort, 30 people signed up. I was like, oh, this is like legit. So I basically just continue on with that. And what it is today is courses. I have now a trainer professional certification that I run. And it's my third time running it. The next one will be next week, which is crazy. And yeah, I kind of fell into the groove of training trainers. When I would run workshops, I ran workshops for like 6 years, just on and off. I'll do it at Central Park, bring your own kettlebell type thing and just figure it out. And I've noticed that 90% of the people that were coming were coaches and other professionals. I was like, oh, I didn't realize I was drawing that type of crowd. And then more and more and more, they were just attracted to what I was teaching. I was like, okay, I guess I am the trainer of trainers. And then that's where an idea of a certification came up, seeing the gaps in the industry and how I have, experience and knowledge to help fill that gap. Not in a condescending way or not in a like competitive way, just like I just want to enhance and level up our professionals in this industry. Because I come from a medical background and I know how that is, and professionalism is huge. But then the level of entry and barrier of entry to become a trainer is so low, but we have such a huge responsibility for our clients to like help them get out of pain, help them, have a good quality life. How is the barrier of entry so low when you have such a huge responsibility? That doesn't make sense to me. So then, my personality is if I see a problem, I'll create a solution. And I had the skills to create a solution, so I did. Now I have a certification, and it's the third time running, and it's wild how all of that happened and transpired in 3 years? Yeah.
It's crazy how a career just comes out of nowhere sometimes when you're not even looking for it.
Yeah.
Tom was in nightlife for a while doing his thing there, and then he just always loved and had a passion for fitness and training. And this is his career now. And the same thing with you. And I mean, I picked the camera up and I kind of just was good at it at the time and honed the skill and bought a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
and
very
just
nice.
figured,
You have this.
Yeah, figured a bunch of stuff out, and it just kind of extrapolates and just gets larger and larger. And I was in sales my whole life. So same thing with, similar to you, where it was a totally different industry, but you pivot into what you're kind of meant to be in.
Absolutely.
It's just almost like the universe just steering you the right way. I'm actually curious. There's a lot to dissect there, but I'm actually curious of what got you into kettlebell training.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that, Tom hears the criticism all the time. You see the post that he puts up, and I'll let you speak on it as well as her. But I just find it interesting when people kind of focus on that, maybe not right out the gate, but they build around that because they either didn't like going to a regular gym and doing the standard linear type motions, or they just wanted to try something different and they fell in love with it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say my story is not like a profound story, but I was working at a gym. It was a mixed martial arts gym, as well as we trained people for the Spartan races.
Sick.
And a lot of our modalities that we would use were kettlebells. And I was a coach there. And I was like, well, if I'm teaching this to other people, I probably should know what I'm doing. So I took a kettlebell certification. I did my research. And then once I took the certification after that, I was hooked. I was like, oh, this is awesome. That's when I first started learning about strength training and how to strength train and using these bells. What I love about the bells is you cannot cheat with kettlebells. Like, wherever you're using them and holding them, you have to be in good position to execute that move. If not, like, you ain't doing it. The bell's gonna fall or you're gonna break out of position. So I really liked how kettlebells keep you honest in movement, and then I'm really big on like how that translates in life. You know, like if you're gonna cheat your workouts or you're gonna cheat, you know, you're probably gonna cheat a lot in life and try to get by, right? So I think there's a lot of great life lessons that kettlebells bring to you that I really try to show people. And plus, it's, you know, once you learn, there is a skill acquisition, which what I'm here for, to help you with that. But once you learn the skills, like, you get so much out of it, and you can do it anywhere.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to ask you, just expanding on how much you can get out of them. People probably just see it as a B type thing. Oh, kettlebell swings. Okay, great. But they don't really understand how deep that movement goes, not only in the fitness level, but daily life level.
Yeah, I just was reminded of a couple that I trained. They were originally from the Netherlands, and they bought an RV, and they were traveling all over Europe, and they hired me to train them while they traveled. And it was so cool to see of like how easily they just had their bells, and then they would have RV, they'd park it up, do
Cool
their
YouTube
exercises.
series.
Yeah,
It's a cool
do their
YouTube series.
exercises, and then they would move to another country, and I would reprogram for them. And it was just so cool to see of like, they can do this life, they can travel wherever they want and still get their exercise in and prioritize movement. Because again, as a healthcare professional, what I care about the most is about your health. And whatever we need to do to have you have a healthy, moving life, I'll get you there. And kettlebells allow a lot of people, the entry allows a lot of people to get to that with kettlebells. Again, I know there's a learning curve, but you know, it's when you're a good coach and you can teach well, it's not that hard. It's not that bad.
It's very easy for commercial gyms and what people do and to do bicep curls and bench press. Like, it's pretty simple to do a hammer curl or hex press, but to do a kettlebell clean, nice, and with good form at heavy weight, it takes a very big learning curve. So,
I mean, how much, and it's no offense to people because everyone has to start somewhere, but the amount of not great form kettlebell swings as the most simple and basic movement of using a kettlebell, that's the first thing you think of. Kettlebell? Oh, kettlebell swing.
yeah.
How many of those do you see that's a front raise and not actually a hip hinge and all the things that you know going into it now, that if that person knew how much they're shortchanging themselves and actually potentially risking injury, and then they just go, oh, I hate kettlebells, that just never works for me.
Exactly. And that's something that I really try to teach my coaches is you got to look at the kettlebell swing or any type of kettlebell movement to its foundational components. Like you mentioned, it's a hinge. Can your client hinge? Yes or no? No, they have no business doing kettlebell swing yet, right? Teach them how to hinge. Get them doing that first, and then that swing will come like this, right? So that's something that is I'm really passionate about, of teaching people how to move well so that we can use the kettlebell. Because once you know how to hinge, once you know how to squat, just holding a bell doing it, it becomes a little bit easier. But if you can't even do that, how do you expect someone to do something as complex as a swing, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. Everybody, you put the cart in front of the horse.
Yeah.
You just constantly see people like Tom, for example. Oh, you see him throwing a 370-pound sandbag floor to shoulder and over, and you kind of, brother, we gotta figure this out, because that.
Smell it yet.
As soon as
I'm
I
nervous.
smelt it, you had your reaction.
You smelled it already?
Yeah.
I haven't smelled it yet.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not trying to.
You're not trying to smell that. I'm gonna duct tape his tail between his
It's
legs.
coming. It's coming. It just hit me. Holy.
Bro.
I'm breathing through my mouth. This is great. This is great.
not.
This is great.
Oh man, it
Quick.
comes, it stays, and it lingers.
Quick intermission. Playing elevator music. Ta da 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 la 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 la.
Anybody want to raise?
La la la. No, I'm
wanna
okay.
raise, Tom?
No, I'm good. Thank you. I had a margarita instead. We get to the coming here. She's like, I want coffee. I'm like, okay. So we go to Coffee Beanery, this place, and there's a margaritas cafe right next to it. I'm like, all right, you're gonna make the decision. Either it's a coffee or it's a margarita, and she chose margaritas. I was like, yes.
I have a coffee today. I had a coffee and a tea today.
Yeah. So definitely switching up for
It was 2 o'clock.
margaritas. Yes, it was good. It was definitely good.
Oh, you're up. Thanks. So, So nice of you to join us, Kenji. Thanks. Just keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, okay. Back to sleep. As you were saying.
Yes, what were we talking about?
I don't remember.
Kettlebell's a movement.
I have amnesia from that fart.
You're talking about like sandbags, three.
Yeah, so sandbag. So when somebody sees you shoulder a sandbag, it's not that they believe that they could just do that right out the gate. They either have that instant thought of, I can never do that type of scenario. Awesome, that's going to blow it back and forth. They have that instant thought that they can't do that, or they'll never be able to work their way up to that, or they just try too heavy a weight and they get injured at coming to your gym or another gym trying it, and they don't realize that it's progressionary.
Well, the problem is with my gym is ego. A lot of guys try to keep up with me and they can't. And whoever's watching this, you can't. Like I tell everybody who comes to my gym, if you try to keep up with me, you will get hurt. Yeah. So learn the foundations first and learn the movement patterns, and then you can progress in weight. And the beautiful thing about her course and what she teaches is that for the longest time, I was doing kettlebells and I was just like, I don't need a cert. I already know what I'm doing. I could snatch 124, 150 over my head. Like, what is a kettlebell coach going to show me? But then I went to her course, her certification out in Holbrook, and what really got my attention from her was that she pushes to progress in weight. She's not the type of coach that's going to keep you here in this one weight. If you're a woman and you're swinging a 53 or 62 pound kettlebell, she's going to tell you, all right, that's it, go up. Like, this is like.
Did you really?
I don't smell it yet.
I don't smell it either.
Okay.
Damn, was that just like trapped under the table for you?
That was
I'm sorry, people. We just get derailed from my dog's farts.
I think it's hilarious. Okay.
Damn.
All right. Anyways, that's what you're saying.
So if she sees her client swing 53, 62, 70 very easily, she's going to be like, all right, we have to go up. Like, you're going to progress, or else you're not going to reach the full potential of what you're at. And going back to what I said before, it wasn't until listening to her at that cert that I was like, all right, Sam has a lot to offer and she has a lot to teach within myself. And I've been taking her course the past 10 weeks. And her cert is next week, and I've learned a ton where I'm like, wow, like, I really don't know a lot of positions of what I'm doing. Like, if I'm swinging a kettlebell to keep my hips down, even just holding it in the rack a certain way, or a snatch, whether I'm coming down like a sports style or a hard style, and how she teaches, like, it's so much to where even big time professionals or the strongest people ever who think they know what they're doing, she can dissect it and learn everything from a very microscopic level, where it's like she can pinpoint, oh, her hinge is a little bit off, or oh, his hip shift needs to be this way, or his rotator cuff or her angle needs to be like this. She's so good at pinpointing it to where I learned so much from it. And every other coach that's taken her course has benefited from it as well. So that's the beauty of it.
So it's the course, and then it goes into the certification to be certified in your basic company and premise of what is the best way or most efficient way to practice this.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I've taken all the certifications, and a lot of them are just weekend certs. And I just don't feel comfortable saying that a coach is able to coach this stuff after 2 days with me. So I looked back on my medical degree. What did it take for me to be able to have the authority to take care of patients? And it was a didactic, or like a learning phase, and then a practical, right, to handle people. So you need to show your book knowledge, but that's not all it. Because there's a lot of certifications that are solely online and just teach, or I guess test you on your book knowledge, but then don't like translate it into the real world. How do you apply that to the gym setting, right? So I was like, let's just put this together, just like I had to when I became a PA. Do the book knowledge, which is the 10-week course, and then once you pass that, they actually show up to the cert with their passing written exam, and that's their ticket into the in-person cert. And I didn't realize this, but last year when I first ran the cert, the beauty about that is everyone entering into that cert is on the same page because they've just been through the same 10 weeks together. They have a level of knowledge, so we can get through a lot more information in those 2 days. So it makes it even more beneficial and efficient for the consumer because they're getting so much out of that 2-day weekend versus, people from all different levels of experience coming to a 2-day event and not having anything before to kind of help level everyone out. So I was like, oh, wow, that's a kind of like a sideline benefit that I even realized that's occurring with this model. I know it's an investment, but like that's how much I value and take this seriously. Like being a coach, a trainer, I don't see you as just a trainer. I see you as a preventive medicine specialist. I see you as someone that's going to help other humans like prevent injuries, prevent chronic diseases, prevent diabetes, hypertension, all that stuff. Like take your job seriously, and my cert is going to help you see yourself in that light so that you're going to bring it to your clients and be like, no, I am someone of value. I'm not just counting reps. I'm not just trying to help you do exercises, but I'm actually here to help you move well, move better, and have a healthy, live your best life type thing. So I take it seriously. Therefore, the criteria to get in is very like intense, but for a good reason. So as of this past year.
And how did you, and I don't want to cut you off, but what is the general criteria?
Yeah.
And then also where did you refine it course to course? Because I'm sure you've been refining it since you started.
Absolutely.
I mean, everything's progressionary, everything's an evolution of business. Yep. We all have been there. And you figure out something that may have worked for you initially, didn't work, or it brought the wrong crowd, just like you did your own survey which is pretty crazy when you think about it, because, which is like totally in a different direction. But what's crazy about social media is, you know, we talk about the negatives a lot. But on the positive side, because there are a lot, one of the main positives is being able to do your own market research live with the people that follow you and actually would be the ones utilizing, purchasing, or sharing the ability for others to use your course or service. Absolutely. So when you can ask what would people give back in the 90s and 80s to be able to like ask them, hey, what would you like to see?
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to know what you want. And they just go, oh, this. Oh, okay. So there's no confusion instead of like putting out something that they don't want, and then you're confused as to why numbers are down.
Absolutely, yeah.
I gave you a lot.
No, I mean,
I gave you a lot.
It's so true and so valid, and that's, you know, I totally agree with what you're saying about social media, and I try to look at the positive. I would not have this career if I didn't have social media. We did a survey with my coaches at the CERT in Chicago. 100% of them were like, oh, we found Sam through Instagram. I was like, the fact that these coaches were willing to pay over $1,000, travel to another city for this certification for someone that they found on Instagram, that's wild.
And it's your certification.
Yeah. It
kind of is surreal, right?
It's so wild. Like, I have these out-of-body experiences during the certs. I'm like, is this mine? I was like, this is amazing. Whose event is this? I was like, oh, wait, it's mine.
This is pretty fat. This event's fat.
Yeah, it's like, so wild.
Wait a minute. I know that logo.
Yeah, right? It's so wild. And so anyways, to get to your question, when I first started the courses, they were solely just online courses, and there was no like barrier, there's no level of entry in. Like anyone can take it. And that was fine for the courses because online, it's not as many touch points. Yeah. But when I started the certification, that's when I became more specific because I'm putting a lot more time, money, and energy into these certifications. It's running an event. It's planning a whole weekend event. And people who don't see my value and don't see the value for this, I don't want them there because I've had other coaches try to like, how do I say this?
Say it.
Penny pinch.
Say it. Let them know. Say it.
Try to penny pinch to get into the cert. Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, how do I avoid this? Because it was just pulling so much energy out of me to answer those emails, to explain to them why they can't have $500 off of a cert that's already like below its value, right?
Very difficult to deal with that across any medium. You with the gym, you with the certifications in your business, me on the video side of things. And to have to sit there and justify your pricing as an entrepreneur is a very demoralizing type of a feeling because it makes you feel like, am I charging too much? Is this too much? And you have to just come back to reality and go, no. Like, my price is my price because of XYZ. Yeah. Their price is their price because of ABC. Yeah. It's okay that we're not the same price. Not everybody is going to be the same price. Right. There's going to be people that are higher. There are going to be people that are lower, and there are people that are the same as you. Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, what you have to understand as an entrepreneur is that if they can't roll with you like that, or they're going to give you a problem just without even getting into the door yet.
Right.
They've barely even knocked. If they're going to already cause resistance, you know that relationship is going to be more draining than it is beneficial for everybody involved.
Absolutely.
One of the things that I've learned recently is I have to start saying no to jobs. I have to start saying no to people. And, you know, especially when you make purchases on things like the graphics card that I just got, or hey, you start thinking like, okay, $1,600, and then a low paying or low tier offer comes, but you know the work is going to be far more than what that job is required or that they're asking for, but you just go, $600, I could just probably do it. No, you can't. You can't do it. You have to, at some point, like you did, you started weeding people out. That is the perfect way to do it. And it's nothing against the people that can't hang at the next level, but that's the whole point. You're upgrading your business model. You're upgrading your clientele. It is what it is. This is the course price. This is the requirements for it. If you can't meet it, it's nothing personally against you. You know, that we're going to be running one in 8 weeks from now or something like that, or 12 weeks. If you're able to meet those qualifications by then, great. Yeah. You just have to, unfortunately, say no. Not everyone's qualified to buy a Lamborghini or a Ferrari.
Right. Exactly.
But the people that are, buy it. So we need those clients. We need those people to align with us.
Right. Yeah. And, you know, I'm really big on also offering other options, like more access point to me and my teaching and my coach's teaching is just going to be more expensive. That's just how it works, right? So I just started pushing out a self-paced option. If money is truly a barrier for you from learning, I don't want that barrier to completely be cut off, but you have a self-paced option that's
there's grades to it.
Exactly. But the cool thing about how did I kind of weed out those people?
Yeah. How did you begin to upgrade the qualifications?
2 things. Number 1, added an application. You have to apply to get into the certification. 1, because if you didn't take it seriously, you will not sit down and spend time on the application. I'm telling you, the students that applied for this most recent cert, they're sending me paragraphs of answers. I'm like, oh, they spent time on this. That means they value this. And then I upped the prices. And the crazy thing about those 2 factors, not only is it making it more worth it of experience for everyone, but this is the first cohort that we had 10 weeks, 2 calls a week. Almost everyone showed up every single week up until the 10th week, which I've never had that before. Usually around like week 5, halfway,
Start getting drop-offs.
People drop off, and you're like trying to like scrounge for people to show up. This cohort, and I was like, what changed, Sam? Oh, you had an application process and it was more expensive. So the people that are here want to be here, choosing to be here, and value being here. And I was like, this is it. And I know, like, from business owners, it's afraid to go up in price. It's afraid, but if you really have good value, and you have to be honest with yourself, is my product of value, right? And if that answer is yes, do not be afraid to charge more, right? Do not be afraid to, get into that higher quality level, because there are people out there that will pay in a drop of a dime, because they're just like, we see it. We can do it. $1,700, no big deal. Yeah.
I listen to a lot of Alex Hormozy, and he's fantastic. I was actually shocked. I put a clip up of his podcast that I was listening to, I think it was yesterday morning, and he reposted it, which was pretty cool. I mean, a lot of his business knowledge is just so rich in quality. I mean, it helps everybody and across all industries. But one of the big things that he talks about is that as well, is that you have to be willing to up your price. And that was his quote that I put up yesterday, which was, if you're not charging enough, you're paying more. So you're paying more on the back end of either your time or other people to take care of extra things that you should have just been paid for originally. And it's so true. And for a lot of entrepreneurs, it is a very moment when you price up, because when you price up, you're worried that you're going to lose, and you're going to lose a lot of people, but you're going to gain that next tier level of people. It really does happen. It's so crazy. But like you said, which is huge, is the service that you're providing of quality and substance. Because if it's not, then you're going to raise that price and you're not going to see people there. But if it is, then people are just going to go, yeah, no, it just makes sense. Like, I get why he or she raised the price of this, because of the changing times, or trying to weed out people that aren't serious. I'm serious. I've already seen the results from it. I get it. I'm here for it. That's another saying of, the the cheap client is every 3 seconds in the photo and video world, they say like cheaper client, and they'll go, hey, where's the money? Where's the invoice? Did you pay the invoice? Just constantly following up with the person. And then when they finally do, every 3 seconds is, hey, how's the edit? How's the edit? How's the edit? And then the more expensive client is, all right, pay the invoice. Let me know when the product is done.
And that's exactly my second point is once you get into that tier, your life becomes so much more easier. It becomes so much more smooth because the clientele you're working with, they're actually nice to deal with. The people that caused me the most headache were the ones that were paying the cheapest.
Yeah, the ones that ask for a consistent discount.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, how do I weed these people out? And yeah, it just makes both of your lives easier. So I'm at a place with my business outside of biomechanics and running the courses and certs. My one-on-one clientele that I see, we're becoming like best friends because they see my value. I treat them well. We have a really good relationship. And I was like, I hope every trainer gets to have like great clients, 100%. Because there's always that one client that's like, oh, I hate the session. And I would never want a trainer or a coach to walk into. Like, why would you have to have a session like that? Like, that's not enjoyable for you and your hour. I don't care how much you're getting paid. Like, you should enjoy everything that you're doing. Why are we doing it?
I've had retainer clients like that.
Yeah.
The problem is I see both sides of it. I see your side without question. I do. Why are you doing it if it's an agonizing type of experience for you to work with this person? Then the other side of, well, it's X amount per month. It's only one time per week, or it's only a couple times a month. Screw it. I'll just do it just to get the check. But the check winds up being way more of a drain on you than it's worth.
Yeah.
I had a client, we touched on it. Can't even call a client if she hasn't paid me yet, but I have a client who I did a lot of work for.
I gotta think of a word for this person.
Horrible. I hate her.
Not an acquaintance, but a nuisance. Nuisance.
More than a nuisance. This is a hemorrhoid. I said what I said.
Can't take it back.
Can't take it back. It's on the internet. It's going to be on the internet.
She's a hemorrhoid. Oh my God.
The problem is it was a quick $2,500 job to produce a podcast. The problem is this person is of notoriety in, I won't say famous, but very well known.
Okay.
And it has been nothing but a headache. I still haven't been paid since August.
Wow.
And it's been setting up 8 send later text messages to constantly ping, ping, ping. It's not worth the $2,500.
Yeah.
It wasn't worth the $2,500 when I went there and I had to deal with all the stuff that I dealt with in the moment. But I'm gonna get my money. I promise. I'm gonna get my money.
Fight for it.
No one's pettier than Nick when it comes down to stuff like that.
Karma. Good karma.
Yeah, people like this don't care. That's the problem.
Yeah.
People like that don't care.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when you're running a business, which you both get, and a lot of the people listening get, you have a lot of overhead in different areas. Stinky.
Big overhead.
Stinky. And for the audio listeners, I'm pointing to Kenji. Stinky, the office, the apartment, New York living. Everything unfortunately is a price tag. So when you're constantly thinking about, well, when I get that check, it'll be great. It wasn't worth it from the get-go, and I should have just stopped then and called it a day. But it was it's okay. It's just a quick job. I'll get it over with. And it's not. It's always the ones that are a headache.
Yep.
Also, anybody listening, please learn the lesson that I'm continually having to learn from the universe. Get a damn contract. I have the contracts. I get so lazy, and that's my problem.
Yeah.
Once again, universe, just constantly kicking me in the back of the head or in the nose like Kenji's rectum is this entire podcast episode. Just the universe constantly trying to remind me of said lesson of, please stop doing work without getting paid.
Yes.
Please. Like, we can't keep teaching you this lesson, Nick. It's like I keep going back to a toxic ex. Brother, please stop.
Yeah.
But here I am again going, oh, good faith. It's okay. They'll pay me. No, they don't care.
Yeah, and that's the kindness in your heart.
Well, that's me, because I know that the second I owe somebody money, it's like this. It's like, when I go to dinner with somebody, I ask them 4 times, like, what do I owe you for the check?
Yeah.
Like, I gotta know, because I have to Venmo you now, because I'll forget, and then I'll feel guilty when it comes back up.
Right.
But I forget, one of my mom's famous quotes for me is, we make the mistake of believing that everybody thinks the same way that we do.
Yeah.
And that was one of the biggest lessons I had to learn, is that not everybody is going to have the same work ethic or heart as me. Yeah. And, you know, I had a talk with a client recently on the phone. Me and him were catching up. And he was like, you know, you got to understand, like, how people are. They're not built like you. They're not thought like you. Like, you know, fitness is your life. Like, this is what you do for a living. And I said to him, I go, I did not have a gym my whole life. I did not have a gym when I was a bartender working 15-hour shifts and going to the gym at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. When I was going to EMT school, when I thought about becoming a nurse, when I was working whatever job I could to make money, like, I was consistently training no matter what it took. And in order for me to train the way I wanted, I built my own training facility. So I hate when people say, oh, Tom, well, you know, people don't have the same mindset as you. They don't have the same build. Like, yeah, listen, I get it. Like, you know, people go through stuff, but are you going to use all these excuses or all these obstacles to just keep you down and out? Or are you going to work around them and become who you're meant to be? And that's exactly what I did. So I hate when people tell me, oh, you know, we're not built like you, but I did not have everything I have now when I was younger. And that's what made me what I am today. So I think when people try to devalue you, like what you guys are talking about, it is a big, big thing of disrespect to you, and
Huge.
Should not be taken lightly at all. That's something that I really had to learn.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, this person had said multiple times, oh, I could have gotten somebody that would have charged X. And I'm just like, why didn't you call them?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
You called me.
Yeah.
You had all these people on your Rolodex. Why didn't you call me?
Yeah.
Why did you call me? So, you know, it's yeah, I think that's an old one.
I like smell it. I'm like,
Dear Lord.
No, I don't
I've
think so.
just ignored. I've accepted. the
Sam's nose
situation.
has officially turned off.
I've accepted it.
Not only does she have fantastic kettlebell mechanics, but she's actually able to disconnect her nose from her body. Yeah, it's
I'm
crazy.
not affected by it.
Yeah.
Well, I also worked in healthcare for 10 years, and you can imagine all of the ER smells and things. So
there is a
phased.
specific, I've only worked as EMT for 6 months, but I was in ERs. There is this specific smell.
Go on.
This specific smell. It's not poop.
Pacific smell?
Specific.
No, you didn't say it wrong. I essentially. Yeah.
It's not poop. It's not throw up.
Excuse me?
It's something. I don't know if it's musty festerness, but it's a smell that's gross, and she knows what I'm talking
I know
about.
exactly what you're saying.
It's this specific smell. I can't describe it, but it's just there.
Imagine
and yeah.
poop, vomit, mold, must.
Oh my
and
God.
a little trickle of urine together.
It's
and
disgusting.
sat in a hot environment for a month. That's the smell.
It's gross.
Let me tell you something about mold. Mold freaks me out.
Really?
It's
everywhere.
I know it's everywhere. I went to go pick my pineapple up off my counter to cut it up. The bottom of it was molded. I just went, oh, how long has that been there? I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Mold freaks me out.
Abandoned
I just
ship.
don't like it. I've got a side business that I want to do at some
Are
point.
you getting rid of mold?
It's gonna be something like that.
A mold excavator.
Word.
Yeah, we'll see something like that. We'll see. I hate it so much I may have to make a side hustle just to get rid of it.
Hey,
I hate
that's
it
how
so
businesses
much.
Are developed.
Yeah. Well, actually, I wanted to
the
ask you
solution.
I love the logo.
Oh, thank you.
I love the logo.
Appreciate
I also like that it's an S. Did you do that
Yes.
intentionally?
Of course.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to come up with the logo?
You know, I was actually showing Tom the first developments of it. I would say a couple months. I was working with my friend who was the designer at the time, and I gave her some options, and we really liked the chic design of it and how. Thank you for noticing the S in
Yes,
it.
love it.
With the kettlebell, we used to have an EKG heartbeat in the middle.
That's cool.
For the healthcare, but we were talking to like some, logo and branding experts of like
Simple.
keep it simple.
Yeah.
So we stuck with this, and yeah, it kind of, it stayed. It really did.
Yeah, I'm in the process of rebranding my business, and I'm trying to figure out what logo do I want. I don't want the usual photo that everyone does, the little camera or the lens. I can get it, bro. You're in media. I don't want that. I'm actually thinking of Kenji, his
Oh,
ears,
that'd be
like,
cool.
and a TV in front of him, just kind of like he's watching the TV.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of something like that. I don't know. I just need to, because I changed my company name.
That's exciting.
I changed my company name from Rizzles Productions to Rizzle Media Group.
Oh, neat.
So
Nice.
the group is me, but group is one.
And
But
Kenji, come on.
and Kenji,
Yeah, you and
Except he just stinks the room up and
still in.
freeloads and sleeps on the job. So I wish he would go operate the cameras. That'd be great. But, here we are. Yeah, it's interesting once you get to the progressionary levels of your business. Start somewhere, and then you start to transform and evolve over time. The logo that I have now, and I'm sure you can attest to this for yours as well, not your logo specifically, but just the business. You have like this beginning inception period of, oh, that works. And then as you start to like really hone in and get really deeper into the company and what you do and all these different, things like the certifications and whatnot, you start thinking about the company maturing. And that was a cute name or logo originally, but now it's time to just get to the next maturities and the next phase.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at. I think it was cool in the beginning. My Rizzles Productions logo, I loved it first. I fucking hate it now. I really do. People go, "Do you have business cards?" I have hundreds that I just refuse to use because I hate the logo. I don't know. It just looks, the Z's are just very Indian-ish. I don't know. It is. It's very like Z Indian-ish.
My gym sign blew off the building and ended up on my roof. So if I couldn't fix it, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna. This is like God's sign to like rebrand. Like, this is it.
Is that what you think you're gonna do?
Oh yeah, 100%. If I ever end up expanding, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely a rebrand, definitely a whole structure overhaul. But I was like, all right, this is God's message. Like, hey Tom, I think you should just
Yeah.
throw this away.
Yeah.
But then Pooch, he was like, yeah, like that was never you. I was like, yeah, I like the idea of it because honestly, it came from a Kirby game. So it was me playing the game Kirby the Forgotten
Well,
Land.
it looked very video. It looked video.
Yeah,
game-ish.
I was playing Kirby in the Forgotten Land, and I hit up my boy Joey. I'm like, I want my logo to look like this. He's like, okay. It was cool at the time, but like I have that same thing.
Progressionary.
And,
Now you want to get to the next maturity.
Exactly. So I put, the sign ended up getting put back on, but that was like my sign, or like a hint, and like a poke. It's like, all right, you're gonna need to rebrand and change things up very, very soon.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm trying to do my own logo, and it's not working out. It's not working out. I can't draw. It's not working. Even just like basic lines, it's very wild when you have certain creative brain for certain things. Like logo designers, they may be extremely successful and creative when it comes to that area of creativity, but when it comes to video and photos, they can't see the vision. That's like me. I can't. People when I'm asked, well, what do you want the logo to be? I don't know. RMG, fucking just write it out. I don't know, like just basic type font.
Yeah.
But I like that. I want to stick to that type of philosophy where it's basic, like a Nike or an Apple, very basic. People will know the more that you continue to evolve in the brand and in the space, people will know that's Sam.
Yeah.
That's Bell Mechanics. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
To touch on about like rebranding and coming up with the design, that will just come when it's meant to come. I truly believe that. And I have another business that I'm building now. And for an entire year, I was trying to come up with a name and the logo and the branding, all that thing, everything behind it. And I just couldn't put my finger on it. I called it the breast cancer program for the longest time. And I was like, I do not want, actually it was called the breast journey for the longest time.
Breast
but
journey?
in short, it's called the BJ. And I'm like, I can't name a professional. I was like, I can't. I was talking to my, one of my mentors.
You have a lot of people signing up for a very different reason. Like, wow, there's a club?
Yeah, I know,
There's a
right?
club
This
for
is a
it?
club. I came here for the
It's a monthly membership? Is it like is
It
it
is
like
a monthly membership.
Oh shit. Is it like European wax? Are they gonna punch a card for me?
The BJ.
Oh my God. So that was literally called the BJ for the longest time. I was like, I cannot make this public. This is not right. So an entire
Account private. Why do I have 1 million followers? This is weird. I haven't even posted anything.
I know, right?
Sitting there waiting. So when's this gonna go live?
Oh, so to my point, it was an entire year named the BJ, and I was like, I can't be this. And one random Friday evening, I was at my apartment just sitting there, and it was just like, boom, it hit me.
Electricity struck.
Yeah, it hit me, and I came up with the name and came up with the branding, the logo, the color scheme, everything. 2 hours.
Yep.
And that was it. And that's what it is till this day now. And I'm like, wow. Something that took me.
What is it?
It's called Her Journey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Her stands for Healing, Empowerment, and Rebuild. And it's for women who went through breast cancer and mastectomy surgeries or any type of breast
You know
surgery.
Marina?
Marina.
I gotta get you in touch with Marina.
Oh, I don't know Marina.
You know Marina.
Was it the
Yeah.
it the one?
So
that-
my
she has an office right over here, right?
Yeah, 5 Loma
Yeah.
Place, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Redact that. I don't know if that's right. I got to check, make sure. It's Loma Place in Huntington. She, Marina, and I don't mean to cut you off.
No.
Marina and you would be phenomenal together.
Really? Oh.
Marina is a friend of mine, and she opted for a double mastectomy, and she is like the biggest advocate for breast cancer awareness.
Oh,
and
there you go.
yeah, and then she had, oh my God, I always screw this up. She had ovarian cancer.
Okay. Yeah.
Or I don't think it was cervical. I think it was ovarian.
Yeah.
Marina, if you watch this, my bad. I just I forget which one it was.
Sure.
But then she had that, and she came back from that right after that was like a year after her double mastectomy.
Wow.
And then she got Lyme disease, and then she came back from that. Then she was getting ready for High Rocks, and she broke her leg in the Tunnel to Towers race before High Rocks.
Oh.
So she's
Yeah.
a trooper, and she also does acupuncture. She is formulating the first program for women that experience courting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
acupuncture for that.
she is certified
Wow.
by the medical boards now
Yeah, I would love
for
to
it.
meet her. That's
She's
amazing.
phenomenal. You and her would get along very well.
Good for her. That's amazing.
So I'll put that introduction in for you guys. I
Yeah.
hope you guys can make some really amazing
That'd be great.
magic
They
for
would
the
ki-
community.
They would kill it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have.
That'd be awesome.
I've been wanting to do some live streams with Marina, talk about breast cancer and bring some awareness for the ladies out there and the men.
Yeah.
Ironically, I did an episode with Marina about her double mastectomy,
Mm-hmm.
and I was at some random tattoo parlor open house, and I was just there hanging out. And this guy and I just started talking. He was like, "What's your podcast about?" And started talking. I told him about Marina, and he pulls his shirt open, and he had a single mastectomy on one side
wow.
for him. I was like,
Yeah.
"Whoa,
Wasn't expecting that.
crazy! I wasn't expecting that."
It's unfortunately so common. It's so common, and I'm 36. It's so common in women under 40 now, and that's scary. And what I realized through my experience and journey is that there's really not much research out there or much help or anything to get us back into training again, because it is a huge thing that happens to your body, and you can't just go back to how you were in your training, but how do you just not negate it, but also safely get back into it? So pretty much I just journaled my own journey. I was like, listen, I'm a clinician, I'm a strength coach, and now I personally went through it. So like, I think I have the perfect triad and formula to develop a program.
Oh, you went through it too. I didn't realize.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, that's a big piece of information I should have told you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Single, double.
Double.
Wow.
Yeah, I got diagnosed. Actually, this is a wild story. I got diagnosed in Croatia. Yeah.
You were living there or just
I
visiting?
was living. No, I traveled. I packed my stuff up in 2022, traveled the world, and then I was in Croatia at the time when I started seeing symptoms. So
What were those symptoms?
I basically was bleeding out of my nipple.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like,
shit.
this is not right. And from medicine, unilateral, painless bleeding out of your nipple is cancer until proven otherwise. So before I was freaking out, I was like, let me just go to a specialist here in Croatia. They have pretty good healthcare there. I had a couple connects, and he basically did some tests, and he was like, it's probably not cancerous, no big deal. Come back at the end of the summer, and we'll do a quick removal, and you can go about whatever.
And this was at what point?
Year-wise,
No, month-wise. He said come back at the end of the summer. What month was it?
this was June,
So
beginning of the summer.
2 months of just like.
Well, in those 2 months, like not to be, grotesque,
You
but
could be as
basically,
honestly.
okay.
You could talk about whatever you want. I'm really not. I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
Fuck YouTube and their terms of service. I don't
Well,
care.
no, I mean,
this
I
is
think-
real shit. So
Honestly, I think it's
educational.
very
Yeah.
educational, and like
Yeah.
for women who are listening, like don't ignore your body. Don't ignore things in your body, because first was a bleeding, and then during the summer, my left breast just got larger and
Blew up?
larger. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just like something's not right, despite what they said and they weren't concerned. So I had a client who I was training over in Croatia at the time. She was like, get a second opinion with my doctor. They rescanned me, and basically all of my like mammillary glands and ducts were dilated, and they were just like, there's something more going on, we need to get you in the OR and figure this out like sooner than later. Within a week I was getting surgery there.
how is the healthcare system over there?
So
And then you were obviously coming from a healthcare background,
Yeah.
so you can really compare and contrast.
yeah, so it was definitely a challenge, but doable. I think having a healthcare background really, really helped, because I knew what I was talking about. But the access to diagnostic studies is just different than what we have here in the States. So, for example, the diagnostic that they used over there is something called a cytology smear. And we don't use really cytology that much anymore in the States because it's not as sensitive. So you can have a lot of false positives very easily, or false negatives. And I truly believe mine was a false negative. Versus if you're in the States, they would just go in, punch biopsy, take the actual tissue, and take a look underneath.
Yeah, that's what Marina, she kept getting biopsies, and she was
Yeah.
tired of being a pincushion. She was just like, it's
Yeah.
just over and over and
get
over.
it.
They keep getting lump, lump, lump.
Yeah. So the diagnostics, and then when it came down to, they, instead of doing the biopsies, we just went in and took a scoop out, and he did some reconstruction, sewed me back up. The margins were not clear. So it came back cancerous. The margins weren't clear. And the next step, if I stayed with the doctors overseas, was a double mastectomy. And I'm like, well, what if the margins, maybe you just needed to go 1 more centimeter in and not have to chop everything off? And he's like, that's just what we do here. We just, if they're more, we just chop it off. And I'm like, I personally, I found out I'm more of a conservative patient. We're like, let me just double check and make sure that it's not all over and I don't have to chop everything off. Because that also plays a toll to a female, as you can imagine. Well, maybe not you can imagine, but
No,
like
I can imagine.
Yeah,
I can
like-
imagine that. Listen, you talk about females for their womanhood. That's their
Yeah.
breasts, and men, it's their testicles. I mean,
Exactly.
I could imagine,
Yeah.
if you had to
Yeah.
castrate, you're like, whoa, chill out.
Let's not jump to castration.
Yeah.
Right? So that's when I decided to go back to the States, and I went to Sloan, got 5 different biopsies, and all came back positive for cancer. And I was like, damn. So I needed a mastectomy anyways. But I wanted to know, because if it was just like 1 inch more, 1 centimeter more, and everything else was clear, of course.
Can they show that? Can they prove that, or are they just gonna?
No, in
Yeah.
Europe, no. It
in,
was just
in the U.S. They could.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They did the biopsies, and basically they rescanned me and saw some concerning marks, because we didn't do an MRI overseas. They did an MRI here, and they saw like 5 different areas where it was concerning. So they biopsied all 5, and all 5 of them came back cancerous.
Yeah.
So my only option was a
Oh, I
mastectomy.
thought you were saying you were still gonna try to see if it was maybe a section over. Yeah, so it was everywhere.
It was everywhere. Yeah. So the wild thing is I found out. So when they did the surgery in Croatia, I was finishing my time there, and I was on my way to Israel and then Egypt. And the results were taking forever to come back, 1 month, because there was only 1 lab in the entire country to run those specific results. So I had to sit, and you can imagine the anxiety
Oh, yeah.
and the irritability that you have of not knowing, is it cancerous, is it not?
And you almost feel like there's a ticking time bomb in your chest.
Yeah.
You almost feel
Oh,
like, how long do I have? And is the continued waiting period making this a worse? I mean, for me, I would think stages. So I'm like, okay, well, what stage am I in now if this is the case, versus where am I going to be if I have to wait for this result for another 2 weeks?
Oh, just wait. There's more to this story.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So go to Israel, do my thing there for a month, love it.
Israel healthcare, I heard, is pretty good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's very good. That's what I heard too. But then I went to Egypt afterwards, and Egypt was like a true vacation. It wasn't work. So I was literally on the Nile River on a boat. You ever see Murder on the Nile?
No.
It's a murder. Oh, dang. Anyways, there's like
Is this homework now?
no, it's just like this really nice cruise ship that they're on that everyone gets murdered. That was like the ship I was on.
Wow.
It's really cool. They have chandeliers in the middle of it. But anyways,
So far, she's only mentioned Black Mirror. Pretty crazy, screwed up shows. So
I love.
Dude,
It
does
works out.
this make sense?
It
Does
works
this make
out.
sense?
It makes sense.
Making
I
sense.
love
It's
it.
making
So.
sense. Starting to figure things out.
Murder on the Mile, mystery thriller,
Trying to see what it looks like.
Belgian slew, Hercule, I don't know how to say it. Egyptian vacation aboard a glamorous river steamer turns into a terrifying search for a murderer when a picture-perfect couple's
Death on the Nile.
Yeah.
Death on a Nile, yeah.
Death on the Nile? Yeah. Oh, yeah, Death on the Nile.
Oh, 2022. They remade it.
Yeah, it's so good.
wow.
You
But
should
it's an
watch
old movie too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
But if you look at the cruise ship,
Yeah, it looks like
they're
those
on.
river boats, right?
yeah. So I'm on
Why do
that.
we get along so well?
So I'm on that. I'm literally on the rooftop of the riverboat going down the Nile, and I receive an email.
Oh God.
Subject line DCIS, aka ductal carcinoma in situ. And I was like, they are literally emailing my cancer diagnosis right now. And my heart dropped.
What a slap to the just the mood.
Oh my gosh. It was like it literally took the words out of me. I couldn't. And I remember I was with my roommate, with this Bianca, love you. She's 23-year-old Australian girl, and I was like, Bianca, I need you. And I just grabbed her, and she kind of knew what we were waiting for. I grabbed her. We went to the room, and I just couldn't get the words out, and I just showed her the email. And I was there's emotions, as you can imagine, just rushed. I was angry. I was sad. Like, why me? Like, I'm so young. Why did this happen? Blah, blah,
I'm
blah.
healthy.
Yeah, I'm healthy. I'm taking care of myself. Like,
Does it run in your family?
my mom, she got it she was diagnosed at 48.
Yeah. It's what is it? The BRCA mutation?
No, we were negative.
Okay.
So I always said that for me, it wasn't a matter of if, but when.
Yeah.
Because there was also a long-standing history of my mom's family on her side.
Marina.
Yeah.
Marina's family and her sister.
I just didn't expect it at 34. Like, that's so young, But if you did look at my lifestyle 10 years prior, I was building a business. I was working in the ER. I was in a very toxic relationship at that time. So all of those things play into dampening your immune system to allow cancer to proliferate. And that's something that I was learning myself of you need to take care of yourself because your body's the only one thing that you got, right? So anyways, that all happened. I get back to the States. This is now November, December of 2022, and I'm seeking care in New York at Sloan. Decide we're going to get a mastectomy, everything. Well, while I was traveling, because I wasn't in the States, I got global insurance, originated from a French company. Okay. So outside the United States, they don't work under the Affordable Care Act, meaning if you have a pre-existing diagnosis, they can deny you insurance and deny you care anywhere, right? In the States, thank God, we have that now. So even if you had a history of any cancer, any sickness, you still can get insurance, you still can get health care, right? So this is where it gets crazy. I met with a plastic surgeon here. He wrote down that my symptoms started, instead of in 2022, 2021. One number changed the world of a difference for me. Because that was miswritten on his documentation, my insurance company
And he fucked up. Like it wasn't like that you just mentioned it. It just he actually just screwed up the date.
Yep. Accidentally wrote a 1 instead of the 2. I asked them to addend the note. They were going to addend the note, but it was too late. The French company was like, nope. So I kid you not, they canceled. I had surgery planned on Monday. And Friday, before I found out that not only were they going to cut me from insurance, but they were not paying for anything leading up to that day, which I already had $25,000 racked up in bills. And I was literally looking up at God, and I was like, God, I need the surgery because, like you're saying, margins were not clear. This is growing and proliferating as the months go by. I was like, this is spreading. This needs to come out. Even my surgeon, she was like, Sam, I'm so sorry, but we need to get this out of you. I'm concerned that it's growing. And 2 of 1, I was gonna put up the cash because they're like, you need to come up with, I think it was $100,000.
So ridiculous.
To walk into the OR.
It's so ridiculous.
And I was like, I'll figure it out, because obviously my health is priority. And shortly after that, I was able to transfer. And then there was a whole, because I didn't live in New York, I was staying with someone, but then my business address was in Philadelphia, where I'm originally from. So I ended up able to get insurance in Philly. And about a month later, I was able to get the surgery in Philly and just transferred everything down there. So now I have doctors at UPenn, which is great. I love them. And yeah, it was so wild. But in that entire journey, I grew up a lot. I learned really valued when we're talking about energy. I feel like I don't put up with anything now because I was at a brink of tough situations that actually matter. This little BS, people not showing up or not paying me or whatever, I'm like, cut, bye. I don't care. I don't have energy for this. There's a lot more bigger things in life that you guys need to focus on. And if you have that disrespect for me, you're out. I'm sorry. So I cut a lot of friendships. I cut a lot of relationships that weren't of value. They were taking advantage because I feel like I'm like you guys where we're givers, we're helpers. We want to just pour into people, but I poured into the wrong people.
Yeah, you
right?
pour into the wrong cup too often.
Poured in the wrong cup too often.
Yeah.
So that really taught me a lot of no more of this. I'm preserving my energy. It's for sacred people, sacred space, and that's it. Right? Moving forward. So huge learning experience, very stressful, but so anyways, getting into the whole origination of this conversation was while I was recovering from the surgery, my instructions were wall walks, don't move for 4 weeks, and then you can start training again.
So that's what I was going to ask you. So what was the hardest part getting out of that surgery and trying to get back to your lifestyle?
Fatigue, managing fatigue. Yeah, because there are days where you would just be so tired that you just don't want to move. And I told myself that no matter what, show up at the gym. Even if you sit there for 5 minutes and do nothing, just the act of showing up at the gym and sitting there is a win.
They tell that to people that are depressed. Just get out of the house.
Yep.
Just get out of the house.
Yep.
Because the second that you get out of the house, you just feel a little bit better. You may not feel 100% better, but you do feel better. You get a little fresh air, you see some people, you see some faces, and then you can go back home.
Exactly.
But if you're depressed and you're constantly isolated, same situation. Just get there.
Yep, exactly. So that's what I did. It was a week after my surgery, 2 days after I started walking, and then a week after my surgery, I went back to the gym, and I was just doing some reaches, rotational movement, just getting some rib cage movement, getting some legs. My heart rate couldn't go up a certain degree, and I couldn't lift heavier than 5 to 10 pounds. So I kept under the doctor's orders, but I didn't not move.
Yeah, you have to. Movement is medicine at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So I just did those range of motion, and then when I was able to handle more, I did more. And when I was able to handle more, and I would do checkpoints. So all right, can I plank today? Nope, that did not feel good. No planks today. Move on, next exercise. And I just built up and gradually, built from there. So I basically journaled that entire experience, hoping that other women could benefit from, because not everyone has the experience and the knowledge of a clinician and trainer to know what to do, especially coming out of surgery, right? So that's where her journey came from. And the cool thing about her is it's her, but healing is the first phase. It's 3-block programming. First phase is healing, so it's a lot of movement, mobility. Second phase is rebuild, which is your strength phase. And then the third phase is empowerment, which is your strength and power phase. So it's a nice 12-week block cycling that kind of gradually gets you back to training like you did prior to cancer and everything like that. So yeah, that's how that kind of all developed.
Super difficult. I commend you, because it's a very tough journey that a lot of people won't understand unless they're in the shoes, and it's just a blow to you as a human being. So I've seen it quite a few times, just third party. Thankfully, I'm very thankful that it has been that case. But watching Marina, I mean, constantly have to alter her training and do it. I mean, she wants to do jujitsu, and I'm just like, I don't think you can. I don't think you can. Now, she has implants. And she was saying when she was recovering, she would go into the sauna and they would burn her from the inside.
Oh, my
She did, yeah. She didn't realize that they'll heat up, and now that she has no fat tissue in there, that she'll actually start to feel the heat of the silicone
Wow.
burn her from the inside.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah, she had the draining, she
Yeah.
had the draining tubes and all that stuff. She had a horrible infection after her.
Oh,
She
poor
been through the ringer. So
Yeah.
when I hear these journeys, and then I put her clip up on TikTok, and even to this day, women are still commenting, I'm going through this right now. I'm about to do it, and it's just
Yeah.
you realize that there is not enough information out there. It's unfortunately, I hate to make it the male versus female thing, but it's a lot of male doctors that don't understand the female's perspective of being in that situation, how they're going to feel physically and emotionally coming out of that. It's just I don't want to speak for your experience, but from what I've heard from Marina and others, it's just kind of like here's your pamphlet. Good luck with everything, and do XYZ, don't do this, and let us know if something changes, type of scenario.
Yeah.
And that's sad, because that's a really tough thing to go through.
Yeah, I mean, you have to get with the right doctor. It's because, again, my experience and being on the other end, both ends, the patient and doctor side, there are different types of doctors. There's conservative doctors.
still? Are you still on the
This
screen?
isn't my first rodeo.
I'm just making sure. Are you still on the screen? All right, I'm just making sure you're still on the
ready,
screen.
bro. I'm ready.
Damn, sorry to interrupt you, Sam. I just want to make sure that
prepared.
Shifty McGee over here is gonna.
Shifty McGee.
In order for me to get out, I have to be like.
Don't hit my camera.
I know. Right?
Nick, have I ever hit your camera?
No, I'm not worried about it breaking. I'm worried about it being out
Oh,
of
you're worried
focus.
about me breaking.
Out of frame.
Oh, you're so
Never.
Out of frame, in frame, in frame.
Now I'm in frame.
Okay. Sorry.
But so like finding the right doctor, because I've learned that even medicine and recommendations is not black and white. There's gray areas that you can play in with. That's another conversation for another time. But the doctor that I originally saw, a plastic surgeon here in New York, it was the message of I was concerned about the aesthetics, obviously, because I'm young, I'm not married, I don't have kids yet. And I was like, I want this to not come out botched or looking weird or looking like they're fake. And he basically made a message and said that you're just lucky, you should be lucky that we're able to get this cancer out of you. And the aesthetics is really not as important. I was like, that's not good enough. I didn't ask for this.
No.
That's not what she wants. Don't say that
Yeah,
shit.
I didn't ask for this. You think I'm coming to here?
I at least would like a little reassurance that you're going to do your excellent work to
Literally.
make this
Absolutely.
as great and as natural as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So I had that conversation. Luckily, I did not go with him. And then my plastic surgeon at
Who's a
UPenn.
doctor? Blow him up. No.
I know. Actually, I honestly don't remember his name.
Who's a doctor? Blow him up.
Was he at?
I will
Where?
say,
TikTok, do your thing. Find him.
I know. But I will say though, my plastic surgeon at UPenn, Dr. Josh Fosnot, I forget that these are not real. They look so real, and he did such a good job with so much care and not only the aesthetic but matching and everything. And I'm just so grateful that he was someone that cared. He would sit with me and just present pros and cons of certain things and be like, what do you want to make? This is my wisdom on you, but ultimately it's your decision. And he just made me feel really comfortable. And I just feel so bad for patients that don't have that experience with doctors, because that's not fair to the patient. They're not asking to be there.
Yeah, you
right?
felt heard,
Yeah, you felt heard.
which is super important when you're going through something like
Oh
that.
my gosh,
especially.
absolutely. So I'm very grateful of how the situation happened, and I ended up in the hands of him. But if anything, just be an advocate for yourself. Seeing doctors, this is advice from a clinician and a patient, always get a second opinion. I don't care how serious or how not serious the surgery is, the procedure, what it is, always get a second opinion, because 9 times out of 10 it's probably going to be different, and you need to find which one aligns with you more, because both are probably good decisions. It's just which one you feel more comfortable with, right? So quick on the whole, because there was a whole debacle on should I get chemo or not. Because it took a while for everything to come out, the cancer did spread. It went into my tissue, went into my lymph node. And one set of doctors were like, textbook, you need chemo. And I'm like, okay, and again, with the medical
What do they push?
background.
What is it? The devil, the red devil.
The
or
red
something?
devil, yeah. What's one is
Scary.
that? I forget what it's called. But basically,
I saw that on a video today. Dude's going through it right now. He was
Yeah.
documenting it on TikTok. I was like, ugh, I hate that. I hate
I
seeing
forget
that.
the name of that one. But yeah. So one set of doctors were like, textbook, to be safe, you have a lot more years ahead of you, you should do chemo. And I'm like, well, how much is chemo really going to decrease my reoccurrence rate? And then when we narrowed it down, I literally was that patient. I was like, show me the studies. I can actually read them. So like, show me the studies that you're giving me this information for. And it came down to 2%. It was going to change my reoccurrence by 2%. One surgeon, she literally in my ear said, you should be grateful that you have that 2%. I literally was like so close to cursing her out. I was like, are you kidding me? The audacity to tell me that? That's my choice to make. So I talked to another who is my now current oncologist, and he was like, it's up to you. 2%, it's small. When you do anti-hormone therapy, that's like 50% decrease. So you got to wax and wane. Like, is it worth going through the chemo? Some women it will be. Maybe to me it not, and it wasn't for me. I didn't want to put myself through that if it was just going to maybe decrease my reoccurrence by 2%.
Yeah, huge maybe.
Huge maybe.
Huge maybe. Did you change your diet at all when you were going through that? Did you opt for a more ketogenic? Because they say that helps a ton with cancer.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Like, I ate pretty clean. I still eat pretty clean. By all means, I'm not like perfect
none of us are
at
saints.
it. Yeah, but
even the ones that claim to be saints, they're pigging
Yeah.
out on the side.
So here's the thing with ketogenic. I actually did ketogenic before, not for this reason. It's a little bit harder on women. You have to cycle a little bit more with carbohydrates, but it's just a little bit harder for us. And to actually stay in a ketosis state is significantly hard, right? And especially like high output, high energy people, it can be challenging. So I know for me, the effort to put myself into to stay in ketosis wasn't worth it. So I was just like, let me just eat healthy. Like literally, if you look at my grocery hauls, it's meat and vegetables.
Yeah.
Well, Tom came in my life, so it's a little different.
What'd you bring?
Pastas,
Chicken fingies.
Chicken fingies.
Pastas, Ben and Jerry's,
Ben and Jerry's.
chips,
B&J's, right?
B&J's.
So that's been a little challenge of like more or less self-control and restraint of like, you can't eat everything that Tom eats, Sam, because it's not good. And my body reacts and responds to it. Not well.
His doesn't. Mine does too.
Mine definitely does at some point. I'm.
At what point? What's your max? What's
I
your
think,
ceiling?
truth be told, I think you just out train a bad diet.
Yeah. Basically,
You've also been lean your whole life, right?
I used to eat vegetables a lot, and my mom says it all the time. Like, you used to eat vegetables a lot, and I think just like the stress of everything. I think when COVID happened, I was my heaviest. I was like 210. I was eating burgers every day, and I was working out twice a day because I had nothing to do. So I think progressively over time, the involvement of the stress of the gym, and also I just love food. I think it's like more of like, I just love food. It's just like the life giver. I love it. I mean, I like vegetables. I do.
You just fucking
but,
called the life giver.
but it's the life giver.
It's not the first time I've heard this about him
the
and
life
food.
giver. It is a life giver. Yes.
Cello used to bring him burgers when he was lifting and when he first opened the gym, especially.
Dude,
They were thinking of putting a to-go window inside of town.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
I get hungry, especially with my classes at night between like 5 and 8. Like, that's dinner time. I will walk across the street and go get pizza. I don't care. I need food. I need to eat, or else I get really irritable. And yeah, my clients, they don't want that.
Cranky
so.
Tom.
Yeah, no, they don't want.
We don't want
that.
cranky Tom.
But no, I think now it's just. I mean, I don't like to consider myself an anomaly because I don't want to give myself like that like praise. Like, I feel like I'm like cocky, but like it's just I'm confident that that I mean, I am not like your average coach. I'm not your average athlete, your average person. So like we were talking about it in her lecture, like my RPE is 10 all the time, literally. But I can sustain that. Obviously, not everybody can do that. Not everybody can.
I'm shocked his CNS holds up. Every single time I see him training the
You
same
know what
way
I
every
do
single
though?
day.
I look for signs of CNS depletion
Fatigue on him?
Yeah, and I'm like, maybe he doesn't recognize, but I haven't found it yet.
Yeah, no.
I thought it was a skin thing going on, but
Now he's just really all gas. He's just
Yeah,
all go. It's
I know.
crazy. It's just
I'm keeping an eye out for that because I'm like, he has to stop at some point.
I don't know. I've known him for a few years now.
There's no stopping. There's
Going
no
for-
stopping.
You can't beat Father Time, but you can defy him for as long as you can.
Dude, I was rolling last night. This young kid, Eric, he's probably 20, 21-ish. And as we're warming up, they're doing a move where they're on top and they're trying to pass, and I slip a butterfly hook in, and then they put a reverse butterfly in on my leg, but then they pin it to the ground, and then they like walk the leg out. So your legs are like this while they're doing it to you. And I said, yo, I'm just letting you know, you're going to hear some crazy noises because I'm not warmed up yet. And we're just drilling. So as he's doing it, all you hear is me going, and he's laughing. And I said, Eric, don't get old, brother. And he just goes, I'm going to try it. I said, I said the same shit when the old guys at Bev's told me don't get old, and I failed. I have a feeling you're going to fail too. I said, it's not that I'm old. My body's just been through a lot now, and it's making some creaky, crazy noises.
I tried to teach her jiu-jitsu one day. It did not work. It was just,
I laughed the entire time.
She was laughing the entire time, trying to show her like how to get out of mount and like what like different positions there are, like Americana, Kimura.
You were just like, knee to the butt, come down, scoop the leg, frame,
Get out of the way.
Yeah. Arms in, no extended limbs. Oh, speaking of extended limbs, and I want you to
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo, chill,
on.
bro. What's up with you, man? I said limbs, not appendages. Bro, I learned to not extend my limbs. Arm. Creeps on the internet. I learned not to extend my arm because I had a rib injury. And I had like a little floating rib pinch injury. So this dude, Hajin, if you ever watch this, you're a fucking savage. Hajin is this just paramedic that is built like a house, and he's a purple belt, just shows up after everyone's done drilling so he can just roll, and he goes right into it. He literally did knee on belly to me, and this is before I really knew these things, and I went to push him away, and he just goes, oh, free limb, and he snatched my arm and just cranked an arm bar, and I just went, oh, okay, don't push away and give them limbs. So yeah, no free limbs.
So, I mean, with myself, I just like to defy. Like, I am, when we first started seeing each other, we first started hanging out. What was the thing we were talking about? Rebels, and you were like 5 different things.
Oh, the 4 Tendencies by Gretchen Rubin.
So, I consider myself a rebel because, I elude myself from the mainstream things, and I have my own gym.
Yeah, Gretchen Rubin. It's a good book.
I want to look up. I want to get the rebel definition.
Yeah. Read it out and see if you resonate since you've known Tom for 4+ years.
Let's see if it resonates. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Was it hot? What's the guy's name?
Gretchen. It's a girl. Gretchen.
Oh, Gretchen. Okay.
Gretchen Rubin.
Sorry, Gretchen.
I'm a ma'am.
It's ma'am. It's ma'am.
I said that to Taylor before. Yeah. He goes to me. I can't say this on YouTube, but he goes to me before. He's like, "All right, I'm ready for the shoot." He's like, "I'm up." I said, "What are you thinking?" He just goes, "I'm up for anything." I said, "Anything?" I was like, "Well, I got a dress in the back of the car."
That's funny.
It's ma'am. What is it? Upholder, rebel, questioner.
Yeah. So
Obliger. Upholders respond readily to outer and inner expectations. Discipline is my freedom. Questioners question all. Did I really say questioneers? Did I really say that?
Yes.
Wow. Questioners question all expectations. They'll meet an expectation if they think it makes sense. Essentially, they make all expectations into inner expectations. I'll comply if you convince me why. Obligers meet outer expectations, but struggle to meet expectations they impose on themselves. You can count on me, and I'm counting on you to count on me.
Great clients.
Rebels resist all expectations, outer and inner alike. You can't make me, and neither can I. Yeah, that sounds about right.
So I consider myself in that line of. I consider myself amongst those people because people tell me every day, all the time, you can't work out every day. You can't do what you do every day. Why? Give me the reason why I can't do that.
Well, I
why?
think they're thinking of normal physiology, like the average human being, and not a Super Saiyan.
But I built myself up to get that way. Everybody is normal at some point. You have to build up to that.
I would argue, though, to debate and not debate negatively towards you, I would argue that you are an outlier, though. Physically, you are an outlier because there could be somebody that trains not the same as you, identical in some ways, in intensity level, maybe in a different vertical, but they just don't have the recovery that you do.
Yeah.
I mean, even dudes that I know that take gear, like heavy gear.
Oh yeah, I've
They
outworked
can't-
guys on roids multiple
Dude,
times.
they can't. They don't train that way all the time. And even if it's heavy gear focused on more performance based versus bodybuilding, where they're trying to just gain size, they're just trying to be able to move weight and recover faster. So what? It would be like a test. It would be test and growth hormone type of a cycle.
Yeah, and I mean, genetics definitely play a big role in everybody's biology and everything. But you know, could I have gotten it from my father, who's like a 6'2" lumberjack? Yeah, absolutely. But with that being said, I need to monetize on that. I need to take advantage of that, of what I have. So if I am training the way I am, it takes time to build that up. And I've been training since I stepped on a mat when I was 10 years old. And the video I just posted today on Instagram, when I first did my 150 fat bells, I'm struggling. I'm shaking. It took me almost 4 months to go from, for people who are watching, to go like this to this to lock out confidently.
Yeah, your bench is one of your weak points that you have said, right?
Oh yeah, but now it's getting to the point where
Because you're working on it.
Yeah, it's getting to that point, but that stuff takes time. So with myself, am I an anomaly? Yeah, but I have to consistently do that. And people can say all the things that they want. My mentality is different. I challenge people in the best way because I'm more of an aggressive, tenacious type of challenge. Oh, I can't squat this weight. Why? Sal, shout out to Sal, my accountant and one of my really long-time clients. I appreciate you. Yesterday, I told him, like, all right, if you can do 1 rep, if you could do 2 reps at a weight, you can most likely go up in weight, whether it's 10, 15, 20 pounds. If you do a 1 rep max and you do 2 reps, that pisses me off because that's not a 1 rep. That's a 2 rep. That's a 2 to 3. So I told him yesterday, you constantly do the 106-pound fat bells. Do the 124. Oh, no, I can't do it. I can't do
his
it.
post.
Oh, I can't do it. Why? At least care this one day to hit a PR. At least do that. And he did it. When you're spotting somebody with that, if I have to like go like this and help you get your elbows up, it's not a rep. But him, I followed him the whole time. He was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So he was like, huh. So when people tell me I can't do this, I can't do that, why? Question it. Like she was saying, second opinions or a more conservative patient. Ask questions or think outside the box. Why can't I do that? Me and myself, why can't I work out every day? Why can't I push myself to the absolute extreme and fuel up and sleep the way I can? There are times I'm on 4 or 5 hours of sleep, or sometimes I get 10 hours. It doesn't matter. I do not use that as an excuse. I do not use that to belittle myself or take myself out of what I'm ultimately going to become or what I am. So it's very an aggressive sense. And listen, no, absolutely not. It's not for everybody. No, but it is for anybody. That's the difference. Anybody can walk into my spot and get strong and lose weight and build a bulletproof mindset. But you have to allow yourself to get there. If you don't, it's never going to happen. I would rather go in and fight in a jiu-jitsu match or in a cage or in a strongman competition in another complete country. I'd rather go in there and do every single event, which I did, every single event, while the guy who beat me in Jersey quit. The guy that I lost to when I did the qualifier, he quit. Something wrong with his back, whatever. He quit. I'm not quitting. I don't care if I come in last place. I don't care. I'm there because I have heart and I want to continuously do and show up and show people, listen, I'm here. I may not be the best. I may not be the strongest, but I'm here. I'm not going to quit. And I wanted to. After 12 hours of sitting around just to compete for 1 minute, 4 minutes of work in a 12-hour day, your nervous system just heightens up and it goes down as an adrenaline dump. But I didn't quit because I choose to defy. And I think everybody needs that. You need to defy every single odd that is against you. She does it. She's done it multiple times with big lifetime situations. You've done it. Multiple successful, powerful people have done that. But that is the 0.1% of the world. Yeah. But everybody needs that mentality. Everybody.
That adrenaline dump, that constant, like, it's the jiu-jitsu tournaments too. I think that's why people get fucking injured, dude.
Oh, it sucks.
It's
it's the same thing because you're competing
you
for
compete
6 minutes and then you're waiting 3 hours
Yeah.
to go into your match. It
Yeah,
sucks.
it's wild.
Wow.
It sucks. I used to do that all the time, and I got sick of it. And you know, I never got hurt in competition. I just got hurt in training. But yeah, like it sucks. You have to just like worry, and you know, you're not warmed up anymore. You have to get cold. You smell. You're musty. Like you're hungry. You're dehydrated. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, they want they've been mentioning for a while that they want me to compete, and I'm just kind of like,
You should definitely do it once. You should
haven't
definitely do
competed
it
yet.
once.
no, yeah. I would have to compete at my current weight. I'd have to compete at the 200, so I'd be at the heavyweights.
Do it at least once. Do at least one.
I will do it once. I don't know
At
if I'll,
least once.
I don't know if I'll do it once at blue or purple.
Do it blue. Do it blue. Because most of my competitions were at blue. Do it blue.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I went against a couple of the guys that are
No, you're
competing
gonna
this
do it.
weekend.
You're going to do it.
All right, I'll do it. Just give me a second. Give me a fucking second. Let me warm up, okay? Doing it right now? Am I going? There's one tomorrow.
There is, really?
Yeah,
What is it? Which one?
Naga.
Oh,
It's
okay.
in Naga tomorrow. They wanted me to do IBJJF in next month because I like gi. I like wearing the gi competitions. But I mean, I'll tell you, man, I feel like I could do pretty well, but I get very worried about injuries because I know that I'm gonna go 100% because I'm gonna feel another person going 100% against me, and it's not that we don't do that at Sarah's. There's a lot of high level guys that I roll against and that I compete with, but I feel like that's a different type of scenario where there's a plastic trophy on the line and everybody wants the plastic trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see some
Yeah,
crazy shit.
It's very, you have to weigh out your risk to reward. You know, competing, yeah, like you get notoriety. You get people like, oh, well, he's this, he's that, cool. But even in jiu-jitsu, ADCC, the Abu Dhabi Championship Club, I think that's what it's called. That is the best submission grappling tournament in the world, and it happens every 2 years. You're only I mean, not only, but it's a lot of money. If you win, you're getting paid like 30, 40 grand. I'm not
That's
sure.
why Craig Jones came along. He did the CJI.
$1 million if you win.
million
That is a way better ticket.
And
than-
I'll tell you what, I thought
than-
people
yeah,
were gonna be
that.
snapping limbs for $1 million, and they really weren't. They were going hard, but they were not going as hard as you would assume that they would be going when they do $30,000 versus $1 million.
It's a life-altering challenge because that 6 minutes could change your life, your career. Because jiu-jitsu fighters are people who do any type of physical work, or trainers, coaches, athletes. You pop your meniscus and it's never going to be the same.
My ankle's never been the same since
Yeah.
since that kid hurt it on me.
So-
It fell on it, and my ankle snapped underneath us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, I popped my meniscus when I was wrestling 5 years ago. That was why I stopped jiu-jitsu, because
Turn that mic to you.
that's why I stopped
You just turn.
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, good.
Because, you know, I'm limping. Oh, I don't want to limp. Oh, I don't like this. Somebody's got to help me. I got to go like this. No, don't like that. So, but it's a life-altering decision to go into a really big competition. Yeah, you could beat everybody and win $1 million, but you could also destroy and explode your knee, and that's it. You're done. You need surgery.
You ever seen what a heel hook looks like when they snap a leg?
No.
So heel hook is basically.
show you a video.
There you
Oh
go.
wait, no, I can't. See, I can take care of the snap.
Well, you're not gonna
afterwards.
you're not doing it, so you don't have to worry. This injury's never gonna get you, unless you do jujitsu.
No,
You want to look at it? Do you want to see it?
can't see.
I'll show you. You sure? I'll show you.
Are you showing the one you showed me?
Which one?
Was it with Craig Jones?
No. It's not gruesome. No.
No, it's just like,
The snap.
yeah, you can hear it. You can.
No, I can't. I can't look at it. You don't have to. I'm okay.
So
There's no voice on this one, but you'll see.
I heard.
I heard that. I heard that. Nick.
Heard it? How'd you hear it?
that.
I heard it. Yeah, I heard it. So basically, what a heel hook does is you're taking,
I felt that.
you're taking the ankle, you're wrapping it around your forearm or your elbow. You're getting a gable grip, fingers over the thumbs, and you're contorting this
While hipping in
while driving with your hips
into their knee.
and just destroying their kneecap right in here on the inside.
A lot of spiral fractures.
And there's an inverted heel hook, which is where you get the arm around this ankle and you do the same thing, but now it's going this way. So externally, internally.
And then when you roll,
Destroying
the way to get out of it is you have to get the leg over. But you both start rolling, and if you roll the wrong way, you'll just explode your
You're,
knee.
yeah, just going into it. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Good time. Yeah.
It's fun. It's great.
So when people grab my leg, I go like this. I go,
Yeah, it's not.
don't
worth
do
it.
that.
Yeah,
it's
no,
not
for
worth it.
real.
Don't do that.
And some guys, you have to tell them, listen, like if you have to verbally tell people, especially in no-gi, I don't know leg locks, so please just do ankle locks.
Yeah, just go slow. Just go go slow. We have an instructor at Sarah's. He's awesome. Brian's the shit. He's an old school black belt. Very like, he's like that guy that you go, hey Brian, love you, and he like flips you off, and I go, aw,
Thank you.
so sweet. Yeah, whenever we roll together, he goes for knee bars all the time. So I told him, I said, yo, he grabbed my leg to do a knee bar, and I went like this to him. I went, hey.
Yeah.
I said, no fucking knee bars. And he goes, what do you mean no knee bars? I'm yelling at the black belt to tell him not to do something. I said, no knee bars. Don't do that. I was like, I'll tap right when you grab my knee.
Just verbalize it. Yeah,
knee
it's
bars
not
are
worth it.
disgusting. Ugh. Explain a knee bar.
Knee bar is basically like an arm bar. Oh, this is interesting. So kettlebell arm bar, what they teach when is it before Turkish get up, or is it
Like a shoulder activation.
so it has nothing to do with the get up? Okay.
No.
All right. So then,
Laying on your side.
so they just use it as an activation drill. I thought that maybe it would be like something towards the Turkish get up. So, basically, you're bringing the arm up and you're bringing the leg over, right? And it's like an arm bar. You're rotating the bell, right? Basically the same thing as if a jiu-jitsu arm bar, because you're on top of the person, you're grabbing them, have your legs over it, and you're bridging up, breaking the elbow. The knee bar is the same thing. It's a little bit more intricate to get into, but you're basically wrapping around. You could imagine if I have like somebody's leg, you could wrap around their leg and just snap it and break.
Yeah. Essentially, you're just hyperextending the knee the opposite way.
Yeah. No,
It's not fun.
No bueno.
I don't like that. My knee doesn't go that way.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Same. No thanks.
Don't do that.
Yeah. It's very interesting. Yeah.
It's just crazy when you start looking at it, like all the different ways that you're able to submit somebody, and that's really the chess game. That's jiu-jitsu. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have a great offense as well as a great defense. You have to be able to counter these things, or know the second somebody somebody tried to grab me for a heel hook last night. That kid Eric actually, and I literally just fucking Eric, and I literally just pushed my foot through and put it onto the mat. He can't heel hook me now, so I stood up. So then you got to worry about them putting you into single leg X and taking you over. Now that you're standing over them and they're kind of deep into it and they have your Achilles in it, it's pretty crazy. It's fun.
Yeah. And
It's chess.
kettlebells for jiu-jitsu is the best.
Yeah.
Is the best thing you could use for that. Even like the kettlebell arm bar, I guess like you could use like definitely for shoulder activation, but also just like maybe like weighted load, or even like just to show people the feel of like how it would be to be in certain positions with your arm extended or with your hips in alignment. Because jiu-jitsu, it's not like a linear thing at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
You're contorted in so many different ways in your body and your shoulders. So
many ways I never even thought my body would be in positions. It's
Yeah.
the craziest thing.
like a Turkish get-up is perfect for that. Even just doing like a heavy technical stand-up, or even like, just like having somebody on your back and just standing up with them.
Yeah.
I've done that. Yeah.
I love Turkish get-ups. I think that they're awesome. Yeah. Well, you're new to.
But I'm getting good.
newish.
I'm getting
Yeah, you're
better.
new to them. I saw
I'm
you
getting
posting.
better. Yeah, because I'm learning through her course with it. Yeah, she got me onto the get-ups. When I so with kettlebell training, I never had instruction. I just taught myself. It
You
wasn't
figured it out.
Yeah, it wasn't until her that I'm like, all right, now I have a coach and a teacher to really help me in what I need to know, like what I said at the beginning. Because I had the ego, I don't need a cert, but no, it's learning from her, and everything that she teaches has been so beneficial. And when she taught me how to do the get up, I did not understand how many steps there were in this movement. I thought it was like, okay, I just sit up and I get up, and I sit in a lunge, and that's it.
So
But
what I haven't done one in a long time, but I would assume so. If you start with your totally on the back, right? You start totally on your back. It's the extension. It's the elevation, right?
Roll to elbow.
Roll to elbow first, like this. Come behind.
Corkscrew to hand.
Foot, like right. You would come and you would like
Leg sweep.
put the foot underneath. Then you would
To half kneeling windmill.
half kneel, come back. Then you would you're on one knee, right? And then the next movement would be to stand.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a
good job, Nick.
it's a 12-step process.
Hi, Belle. that shirt off. Give it to me.
It's a 12-step process, 6 steps up, 6 steps down. Yeah.
I did not know that.
It's very intricate.
So before being coached by Sam, I never did them, and they were just hard to do. But then now learning them, I go, I can appreciate this a lot more. I can appreciate this movement because it does feel great. The best one was I don't know what I did like a couple months ago, but I think like I lifted up the bar on the landmine. I think like dropped on my hip a certain way, and I had back pain. I was like, ooh, this doesn't feel good.
I've been going through that tight hip back pain now.
Oh, well.
So what she showed me was basically a windmill, but my kettlebell windmill, but my right leg was locked out and sitting back into that hip as I put my elbow down to the floor and sitting back, getting into
internal rotation.
Okay. That helped out so much. After that, I was like, wow, it loosened up my back so much that it felt really good. So that might be good for you.
Yeah, I have to. My hips have been in shambles. Actually, that was what I was gonna say would be fantastic for jiu-jitsu though. Is
that helped me out a lot? That movement,
all of the movements that can help you with bridging.
Yeah.
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 Because that's what I find. It's not that I'm lacking in that. I just find that I lose a lot of momentum and power in my hip bridges. Because I have stronger. I've got stronger glutes. But
stronger glutes.
It's stronger glutes.
Love that.
Yeah, I'm glute dominant. But
we all wish to be that, huh?
Nick at Rizzles Production. No, I'm joking. So
all of a sudden you have 1 million followers now.
Yeah, oh my God. This isn't even live, and for some reason, I guess the window being open, everyone heard me. No, it's not the fame I wanted, but just keep sending them. I find that like that's a problem for me is my glutes can bridge, but my hips can't keep up with everything because I never did the hip bridges or any of those. It's just they're so weak in comparison. But I'm thinking in bigger movements when I should be thinking in smaller movements to get my hips up to snuff.
To complement the bigger movements.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my own,
How do you squat? I'm curious.
How?
Yeah.
I can show you video.
Yeah, let me see. Because I feel like squatting, I use squats as an assessment, and squatting gives me a lot of insight of what's happening at your hips.
I have to get a fucking assist.
Because I was looking at, Tom's, and Tom's like, he just lives in pelvic and femoral external rotation.
Yeah.
And then when I put him in a position that requires him to internally rotate, it was significantly hard. So it kind of concluded my hypothesis of him. I was like, he needs more. And not to get too sciencey, but internal rotation helps promote glute lengthening, which we need. External rotator lengthening.
I want to see.
Oh, sweet.
That was when I was doing Squattober.
Oh, wait, do I press play?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're reviewing my squat right now, people.
Oh, yeah, those glutes.
She's smiling. She might have tips, and she might be like, wow. Shit, bro.
Oh, these are really good.
You have better mobility than me. Your ankles.
Yeah, no, that's really good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I look at
Am I
is
glute dominant?
Huh?
Am I glute dominant?
What I'm looking at is first just seeing overall your movement and then looking at your feet to see if anything. Usually if there's tightness, your calcaneals, your heels will kind of come in a little bit more.
Mine do come
a little bit.
Lift off a little bit, but I also I also definitely don't wear the right shoes.
Yeah.
I wear these. I wear these beaten down Adidas that have heel wear from me scraping my dumb caveman feet on the sidewalk instead of lifting my feet off the ground.
Caveman feet.
So the only thing I see, if it doesn't cause you any problems, is that at the bottom, at your end range, you do have a left hip hike. Your right pelvis is a little lower than your left. You can see that there.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times it's due to just like a natural like right pelvic rotation. But ultimately, if it's not bothering you, nothing bothers you in your squats and things are not like feeling weird or wonky or your lower back's not hurting.
They feel, well, my lower back is hurting, but
Oh.
Well, actually.
Oh, it's crazy that you mentioned it. It's so weird that you would say that because that's exactly what I'm feeling right now. Wait, am I supposed to need a cane to get up? Yeah, no, my hips are tight, but I did some stretching with Pliability, the app. I don't know if you remember. You probably remember it as ROMWAD.
Yeah. Okay,
What is
changed.
this stretching?
Ramwad, man.
Pliability. So I've been doing the
Throwback.
Pliability,
Okay.
and when I do it religiously, every day, which I haven't, Like, but when I do focus on doing it every day, my lower back pain goes away instantly.
Liability. Oh,
Or if I use my so right,
Stretching
which a lot of people say is bullshit, and
no,
there's, a lot of
I love the so
and
right.
there's a lot of people say that it's amazing.
I love the so
I
right.
do-
What is this?
It's that like I don't even know how
Like
to
a
semicircle
You see in my
with the two prongs, the two horns.
It's like a U when it digs into your psoas.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's horrific.
It's
Some people say that it doesn't actually get that deep,
Yeah.
but I feel like it does.
I feel,
Well,
like, I feel like it does.
if it helps you, that's
And
what
I do,
matters.
and when I lay on it, I do feel my lower. Do you feel your back open up when you lay on
Yeah.
it?
Wow. Okay.
And
Well,
it's
hey, if it works,
it's
works.
more of a sensation when you put one horn in and leave the other one off. You can lay on both of them, but it kind of like evenly distributes the pressure. But if you hang one in and the other one's outside of your body, it's pretty intense. Like pretty
I'm sure.
intense.
Yeah. Wow.
I'll show you. But yeah, this is the so right. I like it.
Yeah, they came out with a lot of other stuff too, like the so neck.
That's
back,
right, dude.
Also, so
That's what I needed.
The
So
neck. The neck.
I'm going to challenge you to take a next step with your. Oh yeah. Okay, I've seen this before. So it's great to.
You're challenging me.
I'm challenging you.
Challenge me.
It's great to stretch everything out and to kind of reset, but you're gonna go back to what
Those
you're used
movements,
to,
yeah.
right? So training in that new position and building strength in a new position is what's gonna get you lasting results, right?
So for my squat, what do I change?
I would play with not necessarily going for like your heavy PR weights. I would play with actually adjusting your foot, of having your left foot back and having your right foot slightly
Forward?
and possibly elevated.
So heel elevation with like a 5-pound weight?
Like a squat weight that you're lifting?
No, I mean,
oh yeah,
like a
yeah, yeah.
5-pound
Like
plate.
standing on a yeah. I thought you were saying you're gonna squat with 5 pounds. I'm like, no, I didn't say
I
that.
can do that too. I'm really working a sweat up here.
Yeah, with like a 5 pound exactly, and kind of
So a staggered stance, but how deep?
not necessarily staggered. Because
So if my feet are squared off like this, you're saying like that,
yeah,
very minimally.
I mean, I would say, let's say like 2.5 inches.
That's about right.
Like 2.5 inches.
It's not like that, I promise.
To like, I'm just saying arbitrarily, like
this?
not full staggered, but like half, right? And
My dumb ass is always like under the bar, and I'm just like, where are my feet at? I'm sitting there, and then after a half a minute of reshuffling my feet, I'm like, no, that's too far.
That's why I love the monolith attachment. That's why I
Oh yeah,
love
because it's
that.
just right there, right?
It's just right there. You get under it, you lift, you go right into it. You don't have to move. You don't have to.
Yeah, you can set your feet and then just
Yeah,
lift.
yeah.
yeah. But playing with that squat variation to see, because basically it looks like your pelvis is slightly just rotated to the right, and if
Which would make sense.
working out of that rotation and that stress in there might be causing what you're experiencing. So trying to rotate your pelvis back to the left, just changing your stance, that might help a bit.
Cool.
Right? Plus or minus the heel lift, but definitely play around. Or you can do you do a lot of single leg work, like Bulgarian splits?
I used to. I don't really do a lot of isolation training like that now. I've been getting ready for tactical games.
Okay.
Which
Okay,
I have to stop saying that because I have to like actually hit the gym consistently to get ready for it.
There,
I've been doing more jujitsu than tactical games training. I'm gonna go to the range this weekend. I got to shoot, but yeah, they have a whole programming
Oh, okay.
that they put out, and one of them was front squats recently, which you could actually probably see my front squat and tell me that
Yeah. let me
it's
see.
good or bad, because this was when I was squatting every day for the month of October. So
Okay.
that was an interesting challenge. But the front squats is new to me. I don't really do front squats, so it's definitely a little bit.
I like doing it with the row cambered bar, the Duffalo bar, the curve.
Here you go. Here's me just doing my thing.
The curve bar is really cool. It sits well. If you
The Buffalo bar.
whatever it's called. Yeah,
No,
it's-
Chris Duff. I think Duffin. He was from Kabuki Strength.
Oh yeah,
He
and
created the Duffalo bar. And I
Yeah,
think
and then-
everyone started
then
taking
yeah,
over.
I have the Rogue one.
So that's a
Rogue
more
one, yeah.
recent one with,
Yeah.
with my hip tightness.
Yeah, I mean, you can see more of it exposes more of your heels, like not having that access range at the last phase because your heels slightly go up and turn in there. Also, I mean, again, looking through your sweatshirt,
I try to
Because
stay.
your ability to posterior expand not only in your hips but in your upper back scapula area is also important to be able to hit that range. Yeah, so for this
Can we just call her the mechanic?
for this, honestly, I would still recommend trying that different stance to see and film yourself because you may not feel it, but seeing the difference of your the hip hiking, to see if that helps
still
with
doing
the
it there, right?
rotation. Not as much, but you're also
Front squatting.
front squatting.
I hate front squatting. That was front squats.
Keep you honest, man.
Yeah, that was front squats, and
Still see a
then
little bit here.
you can still see a little bit there.
Yeah.
That was front squats, and then after that, they had you do front squats with 40% of your 1 rep max, but step ups, 20, 10 each leg.
Goodness
With
gracious.
kettlebells, they do so many front squats. That's why I like with front squats with the barbell. I'm just like, I do it with
I'd rather do it with the
squats.
kettlebells. I think it's more comfortable.
It's fun when you're doing it with complexes, like when you're doing clean, squat, lunge, like you're having them in the rack here.
It's not fun, she goes.
It's not fun to me. Oh God, no.
It's doing.
I don't have good position. I don't have like
Get that mic in front of you.
good. I don't have good
You can bring it to you,
positioning
bring it to you.
or range of motion.
Yes, you
Like,
You can extend it out. Extend it out.
Yes, you
Look.
do.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
wow, Nick, you got the fancy stuff here.
Come on, a little scissor arm.
Yeah.
Truthfully, okay, side note. Truthfully, how this goes. Truthfully, I wanted to get 4 of these, but this is a $450 mic arm.
Yeah,
And
bionic.
Is
arm.
that
this is the one that Joe Rogan has. I think it's cool. $450 though? We're pushing it. That's 100. I think that suffices.
that suffices?
That suffices. So that's why we've kind of have a little Frankenstein. Now, sneeze right in the microphone. Fuck that. Sneeze right in the microphone. Blow everyone's ears out. Let them know. Yeah. Oh, you ready for this subwoofer? Bless you.
Funny, thank you.
Yeah, the double bell complexes are fun. They're cool.
I like the double bell complexes. I'll
Yeah.
tell you what my problem is with the double bells that you have me do. The problem is,
You're really good at them.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, you did double 80s like nothing the last time you were at.
Yeah, it's been, and I don't really train like that, so it felt.
It's impressive, dude.
Thank you.
Imagine if you did.
I know. Get closer to me.
The more you know.
Get closer to me.
It'll happen.
I know. I'm holding out. I'm waiting on that. Holding out. I'm waiting. I'm just like, oh, I guess I'll go to the gym when Tom opens the gym closer to me. I'm just like, oh, is it this month? No, fuck. Okay, I guess I can wait another month. Yeah. The problem with the double bell complex is it goes back to my dainty hands.
Yeah, your little girl hands, yeah.
I get too much rippage when I do it. That's my problem.
Well, it's because you're not doing it consistently enough, but
Yeah.
also the technique and like me. So
I think they just slide in my hand a lot versus turning the wrists.
How tight's your grip?
Pretty tight.
Loosen it up.
yeah,
Yeah, but I feel like it slides more if I loosen it up.
no,
Let it like literally when you're doing bells, imagine it just free balling in your
yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah, just let it go in your hand because it'll jump. So like when
Yeah.
you're doing cleans, literally when I let go and release, it starts here, and then when I release, it literally jumps to my fingers, and there's no. So like try a looser grip that might help and not be as much because that tight grip is really what causes a lot of that.
And there's different styles. There's 2 different styles you can do it. You could do it sport or hard style. Hard style is what she teaches in her course. It's I would say be more linear. How would you describe it between
Rigid.
sport? Rigid.
It's more rigid.
Yeah, it's more like just
Stiffness, creating power, creating force.
very rigid, very straight line, I would say. And then sport style is a little bit more leeway. You're coiling to each side in a way. I like sport in certain senses. When I snatch, if I'm going really heavy, the most I could do with the hard style, what she teaches, is like a 106 or 124 to really come on that snap down. But as I go heavier, I need some type of rotation, especially all that momentum coming down. It's like a boulder just like straight shooting down and you're stopping it. So when I'm up, I think I talked about this, like just having that slight rotation and not like gripping it so hard, because she's right. If I grip it so hard, it's going to destroy my hands. And it's going to switch in and out. That's why my calluses, it's one here, one here, one here, one here. But I'm just going heavy on
Your
all these
entire
certain
hand
movements.
is a callus.
My entire hand is a callus. Yes. It
Suck
really
to be
is.
choked out by you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Someone's getting choked out. They're like, wow, his grip is crazy, but why is his hand so callousy?
Yeah.
It's like being choked out by a pumice stone. What the hell is this shit?
Exactly.
Really. So funny.
Are his hands made in volcanic ash?
So funny. But yeah, I actually haven't had a rip in since what
Oh man, now you said it. Oh,
I
it's
know.
fucking over.
Knock on the wood. Knock on the wood.
doesn't mean I'm not gonna train.
No, I know. It's over now. Just tape. Just over now.
Just tape and hope for the best.
I've done the tape route at your gym. It's a tough one. It's a tough one because I'm gushing all over the next bell.
Oh,
You
God.
need stronger hands, Nick.
I'll try. Give it a shot. All right, back to Sam. So
Oh, man.
I think ending on two really cool points for you. I think one is I wanted to just know initially what it was like writing that first course, and then obviously your next certification is 3 weeks from now. You said
Literally next week.
next week.
Yeah. Whew.
So I want to just go from what it was like to create and craft this course, and then obviously now going into the next certification, the emotions and whatnot, and then I'd like to end on you telling everybody how they can find you and all the fun stuff of putting more people onto some amazing stuff.
Cool. Yeah. So when I first was organizing and designing this course out, I kept trying to put myself in the consumers and client shoes of like, what would they benefit from? What would I benefit from when I'm taking a course? And I know all of the kettlebell education out there, and I kept thinking, what's missing? And something that I'm really good at is looking at the why, the what, and the how behind the movement patterns. And I found that has been really beneficial for not only my clients, but for myself to be able to explain and then be able to quickly troubleshoot when things go wrong. So I was like, how can I incorporate this into a course? So I literally just started taking a notepad and just writing down, okay, step one, I organized it in a fashion of doing movement patterns. So I do like deadlift, I have a swing. So each chapter is a movement pattern. And I just go into the details of like how to execute, how to troubleshoot, and then essentially how to coach it, how to take someone from zero that never heard of a swing before to actually swinging pretty efficiently. And then I just repeated that next chapter, next chapter, next chapter. So that was the origination of the course. And then when I launched it out, I went through the cohort and it was great. There were lectures, but there wasn't any practice to it. So I always take feedback from my coaches, now coaches, students at the time, and they're like, we would love a movement session. So now we have breakout groups where we get to put into practice the theory that we're learning in the lecture.
It's awesome.
And this is over Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over Zoom. Yeah, 2 days a week. And
Then the cert is in person.
the cert is in person. Yeah. So how the cert came to be was the kind of what I was telling you before, the mindset of me feeling comfortable as someone being able to teach kettlebells to someone else. There needs to be a lot more involved than just an online version and just in person. So I was like, let's hybrid it up, put two of them together and create this whole. So now that, they have 10 weeks of theory and practice, and then the 2-day in person just kind of seals it up and puts like the bow on top. And that's exactly how it's been explained to me, is like when they come to the in-person cert, it's just like, oh, that makes sense now. Something that wasn't clicking, they finally get it because it's that in-person experience. And, the cert, that has evolved. I've ran it 2 times. This is my 3rd time. And even between Cert 1 and Cert 3, it's been adjusted. So the organization, like, what do you start with first? I did skills testing first. The second cert, I didn't do skills testing first, and I hated it. I'm like, this is way too much. And just trying to make it based off of feedback, surveys that I get, based off of what I think is going to be a great learning experience. But what's always in the back of my mind is, how can I make this a good, effective learning experience for my students, that they'll actually take the information home and apply it to their clients? Because that's what I care about the most, is can you take from me and actually apply it to yourself in your career? If the answer is no, I'm not doing my job right, and I'm just another certification out there, because there's a lot of them there. It's like, great, I learned this, but I don't know how to apply it.
Yeah, people just stacking certifications without actually.
Yeah, it's just about the
them to good
letters.
use.
Yeah, and I'm not like, yeah, you get the certificate and all that stuff, but what I care about the most is, can you take these concepts and be able to apply it to your own training, your client's training? And I feel like this model and this approach is the best way to do it and, encompass the entire learning experience. Because when you think about learning, I learned when I was in college, motor skills, like it's all senses need to be engaged, right? Visual, audio, what's the other one? Sensory, I don't know. I mean, like, can you smell learning? I don't know. Probably not.
Well, no, you shut your
But
nose
like,
off.
yeah, I shut my nose off.
That's why she couldn't think of it. She shut her nose
But
off.
like
She's like,
being able
smelling a thing anymore?
to see, to hear. Oh, read. That's what I was thinking. Not
So
smell.
vision?
Vision. Appreciate you.
I got you.
I'm educated, I swear. To see, to hear, and to listen. Right? The three senses. Out of 5, maybe 6, depending on how you feel. But,
That meme?
But yeah, so encompassing all those senses into a learning experience, I really feel like it's going to help someone make it concrete in their own practice. Frequency, repetition, and understanding those 3 things is really going to help you. So essentially, that's how I created the cert to be what it is, and I'm sure this time next year it'll be evolved into something else.
Is it annually, or is there a couple certs a year?
Biannual.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
have
2 certs a
one
year.
for right now until we get
a lot of work.
waitlisted. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, and I'm cool with 2 certs a year. I was like, the first time last year, I was like, let's do like 3 a year, once every month. No. I'm cool with 2 a year for now until I can get some coaches that can run the cert and I don't have to run them all. Then I'll be more comfortable running more. So it's not me traveling all around the world and teaching everywhere. So
Where do you plan them?
New York.
It's all in New York.
Right now, yeah. So I just moved back to New York in August of last year.
Hey.
Prior to that, I did it in New York, and then I did it in Chicago, and I was just gonna go around to different places because I was living in Mexico City at the time, and I pretty much. But then when I moved back here, it just makes more sense to be here. It's the hub of fitness, right? And I live here. It's
You think this is the hub of fitness more so than LA?
1,000%.
I hate LA, so I just want to make that.
No,
put that on the
it's
record.
different. Listen, I've been to LA. I have a lot of friends in the fitness industry in LA, and it's just different. Yeah. LA is more home training. It's more entrepreneur, building out your own online business, all that stuff. But like the training culture and the fitness culture of going to gyms and all that stuff is not as big as here. Like I've been to major cities around the world, and I still stand by New York is the fitness hub of the world.
Yeah.
Like trainers that I've talked to overseas, they're always looking at us and what we're doing here in New York. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like the gyms. I mean, I'm not a Brooklyn guy per se, but I like the gyms that you guys have. There are definitely some exclusive, really cool looking gyms that just seem. A guy I know was at one recently, and I just looked at it. I was like, damn, not top of the line equipment, like big airy windows and this and that. But
Oh, wow. Do you know where?
I don't know. I'd have to look again. I'd have to see. Maybe he put a post up on it. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there are some cool gyms. Dog Pound in the city. You see these different like little cool niche-y spots that you don't really see, on Long Island besides Tom and a couple of other
it's true.
more tailored gyms to the training.
Right.
You see a lot of Push, F45, like the franchises.
Yeah. Orange Theory.
I feel like there's more private label gyms in the city and in Brooklyn.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the demand is there. There's so many people in the city that you can let me tell you a funny story. You can make a specialty gym
Go on.
out of everything. So
Everything.
so back in 2020, yes, wait for it. There was a gym that was going to open up in Union Square that was I would say, I don't want to throw out this term, but a dominatrix gym. I'm just going to drop it there. And basically, I knew that this was opening because they reached out. They wanted to paint me choke holding a male in between my thighs as the entrance photo.
Oh, muscle mommy.
Literally.
Okay.
Do you know my biggest mistake in life?
Was doing that photo?
No, me saying no. Me saying no to that opportunity. I'm like, damn, that would have been so cool. Like my kids be like, oh, mommy, like got painted.
Triangle choke.
So how long did they were just going to use your image, or they wanted you to model choking a man for extended periods of time?
Yes.
Damn.
B. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm like, what type of gym is this?
What type of gym is this? What is happening?
I just had an Instagram account. Okay, can I? Wait, should I not say it?
No, you should say it. You should
What is it?
Say it.
You want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Sort of. I'm nervous.
Involves bondage.
There's a new Instagram account that
Bells and Bond.
kind of
Basically, yeah.
Ooh.
Bell Biomechanics and Bondage. Exploring theories on how kettlebell movements and bondage restrictions intersect in biomechanics and human movement. K-Bell BDSM.
I've heard of occlusion training, but this brings things to a whole new level.
What's occlusion training?
Blood restriction
Yeah.
training. So you would.
Oh, that's where you like tie a.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I
Yeah.
used to do that with John Meadows programs. Yeah.
Yikes.
I used to do that for quads. You do like 30 reps, heavy weight.
They're supposed to put it in the clinical space too to help like optimize or
Because
maximize
it rushes
recovery.
the blood in after you're done. It's
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zoinks.
How long would that painting have taken?
I don't know. I didn't get that far in conversation. I was like,
I get uncomfortable when I'm getting choked in a triangle choke for like, I don't know.
So
15
the reason
seconds?
I said no is I didn't feel comfortable showing that image on men because I didn't feel like that towards men that I need to choke hold them in between my legs. And puppy, he's like, all right, Dad, let's go.
I know you're farting up a storm. You want to?
Hi.
He's gonna come say hi to her. Just ignore him. Okay. Don't stare at him either.
He's so cute.
I know he just
buddy.
doesn't like
Hi,
males.
sleepyhead. Cutie.
Is he being nice?
Yeah. Yeah, you being a good boy.
See, he likes his girls.
Yeah.
He's stealing your girl right now.
now.
Can I pet you?
No, bitch.
Nope. Don't do it. Leave him alone.
Hey, buddy.
There you go.
Yeah, you're right.
I told you. Hey. Shh.
Hey, yo.
You can say hi to her.
What's up, bub? You
can say hi to her.
Cutie. You cutie boy.
We ending on bondage, Jim?
Kettlebell bondage,
I don't know how
baby.
we got there.
All right. So, Sam, now that farty's up, how can people find you?
Okay.
Tell me.
So
Tell the world.
That's
And she's not taking inquiries for
no.
triangle
No,
chokes.
Definitely not.
Yeah, no.
Definitely
If,
not.
if you
Thank you.
if you ask her for that, you're gonna get a DM from Tom
Yeah.
offering he'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do
I refer all of
I'll
those
do
to
it,
Tom.
Doe. I'll do it, Doe.
Someone literally asked the other day, I did like a Q&A AMA on and they're like, how do you handle or manage like the internet trolls? And I was like, I send them to Tom.
Yeah.
Tom gets them all and he gets to handle them.
Literally, I can lift heavy, but I also know how to fight.
Yeah.
How do you find me? Instagram, my personal account is Ciaccia, SCIACCIA. And then I have Bell Mechanics, which is Bell_mechanics. Hi, bub. Yeah. You sweet. And that's how you can find me. Or bellmechanics.com.
Okay.
That's my website as well.
Mechanics.com. You could potentially pre-qual for the certifications down the line and all the training and the courses and whatnot. Tom, how can people find you, Tom?
Tom DeGiuli, DeGiuli. You can follow my gym's page, the Strength Factory. I host classes. I host private training, personal training, instruction, workshops. You can also follow my online page that I'm actually trying to grow right now. It is the DeGiuli method, and that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you for gracing me with your presence, and you as well, Tom, for hanging out. I always love hanging out. We'll do more. I think once I get this live stream up, I think some Q&As would be fun, and I think that would be a good time to just do stuff like that. And it's just cool to get the information out there, background stories and whatnot.
Absolutely.
Definitely linking you with Marina. That's not even.
Please.
Yeah, you guys have to
Yeah.
like spearhead some like
Agreed.
projects and helping the community that goes through that. But I really appreciate you. I appreciate you, Tom, for connecting us. And anybody
Sir.
that is interested in anything that Sam has talked about, Tom has spoken about, follow their pages. The links will be in the description as well. And do the damn thing. Like, share, subscribe, all the things that help me to continue sitting down with amazing humans like Sam and Tom. On that note, I appreciate everybody for fucking with us. But for now,
Peace.
peace.